finally, it's like finally, I was texting him, guys, like, when are you gonna open your space? I'm just gonna keep annoying you till you do, because I'm excited to talk about these foreign operators that are
Oh, I'm
pulling
sure
everybody
you
else,
are.
foreign
You love the
operators.
opera. You love to be
Listen,
able to talk
man,
about it.
I have been going through this shit for a few years now. Okay, it's finally time. It is finally time that they get exposed. But yeah,
Well, they
definitely
got
think.
exposed today. 100%. It's out there. Let's do some music while we wait. Welcome, everybody, to Diligent Spaces on X. Please like the YouTube. Share that around. Thank you so much.
He don't talk unless the proof is in the lines. Receipts in the folder, coded truth in these rhymes. Power play chess, moving pawns through the blind. But a diligent denizen sees designs in the signs. They disguise what they hide, he just shows how it's shaped. Every source double check, never roll with the fakes. In this world full of wolves, he's exposing the snakes. Document every whisper, got the quotes and the dates. He don't chase what they post, he investigates where it stems. Paper trails never lie, follows links to the end. Truth is power, it bends, but yet it always defends. What's verified never shakes, even lost in the trend. So when he speaks, it's a lens, not a rumor or a vibe. He cuts through the noise, pulls the proof from the lies. This is for the people trying to see through the disguise. Diligent denizen where the real can survive.
Bow, wow, wow. Oh, methinks the lady doth protest too much. You know, for years I have been listening to these people tell us that everybody is a paid operative, everybody is a foreign asset, everybody's being funded, everybody is a foreigner trying to distract everybody. I mean, it's been nonstop ever since pretty much Flocktober 7th. I don't know when I get hit by YouTube, right? We'll call it This Shiz Real and Flocktober 7th. And ever since then, there has been this like insane push on Spaces on X and on the timeline to propagandize Americans, right? And I don't want to get into Flocktober 7th too much. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. I don't want to have that whole debate. I'm just noting that is when this all began for me, right? People I had known for a long time who were friends on Spaces, right, became bitter enemies, and there became two factions. And if you were even listening to someone else's stream as an audience that was visible, you would be seen to be like supporting them. It was crazy. And I've dealt with that since then, right? But the main actors of this are the same people who attacked me over Epstein, right? If you guys don't know, I was a hardcore, deep in the trenches Trump supporter, deep in the trenches MAGA Republican, pushed real hard all the way up until last summer for Epstein, right? As soon as the DOJ said, oh, well, there is no Epstein here. There is no, he committed, he self-deleted. There's no evidence otherwise. There's over 1,000 victims, but there's no one else to charge. This whole thing's just a Democrat hoax. Move along now. And I couldn't reconcile that. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't reconcile that with my core beliefs. I had been advocating for the Epstein files for years. I had been advocating to end child trafficking for years. And I can't just reconcile the government saying, oh, well, there's obviously something going on here, but, it's over. We're done. I know that we promised you otherwise, but we're done. And that was when I first started feeling the wrath of the crew that got exposed today, right? And I used to be friends with these people. As friends as you can be on the internet, right? But I didn't understand why I started getting attacked by the people that you're seeing in these group chats. There's one right there, the admin, right? This J guy. I've never other than Stealth, right? I had never interacted with these people, a lot of them. I had never done spaces with them. I just didn't know them, right? Well, for the last 10 months, really, for the last year now, for me, it wasn't just Charlie Kirk. It's also been Epstein. These accounts have been systematically attacking my posts, trying to dox me, trying to smear me, trying to cancel me, everything you can think of. And I've seen them do the same thing to Candace Owens and anybody else who supports her, right? Or anybody who pushes back against the Fed slop narrative, right? They work as a single cohesive unit, and what it appears to be, right? If you'll see right here, this woman named Shady, very interesting. Let me see if I can blow it up where you guys can see it. Okay. This morning when I got up, I saw a post earlier today, from Shady Lady Katie, and shout out to her. Apparently this is one of their old buddies, right? She was in the chat with these people. It is one of their own that exposed them, right? And I'll read you her statement here. She posted a screen recording of their group chat, and then she told us what happened in there. And I'm gonna read a quote now. Quote: "Coordinated efforts are coming from some of these people. Here are all the names of who were in the group chat. Sharing info, background checks, reporting accounts." She means like mass reporting posts on the timeline to get you suspended and throttled and all that, right? Whining and complaining all day about Candace Owens. And even, and this part's the most disturbing for me, even sharing Candace Owens' home address. Home address. That is particularly disturbing. However, I will say that not everyone here participated. Some just lurked. Anyway, I'm out of here. X is a digital, unfruitful wasteland, and I have a real life and shit to do. Go live your lives and build something. Well, shout out to you, Shady, for being honest, coming forth and sharing that with everybody. We always assumed, right? We always knew that there were these networks of group chats of Zionists and Fed slops who were coordinating together to attack, dissent, or control the narrative, right? And you could just see, I mean, there is 92, okay, and 92. And we all know, right? Like Gary came at me hard over my Penguich reporting, right? They all did. A lot of these accounts in here have come at me over time, over the last year or two, over my Epstein reporting, over Fort Huachuca, over all kinds of stuff, right? I'm going to play this, but I don't want to have any music. There we go. So you can just see, I'll let you guys watch. These are all the usual suspects, right, that we see in spaces or we see attacking us on the timeline, right? But what's really interesting is some of the figures in here have posted about me hundreds of times about right there. Who's that? That looks like it's parallel testicles, right? Not so tactical. He's come at me probably the hardest out of the Fed sloppers over my Utah on the ground reporting. And I don't want to give him too much attention, but you know, I'm so glad this came out today because, you know, I always suspected, you know, you don't ever have proof of these things. And so you sound like a conspiracy theorist. I have dealt with this. I just had another one over the Epstein stuff a few months ago. I had a group chat sent to me by somebody who was in there. Had showed that they were just constantly obsessing about me, talking about what I'm doing, lying, mass reporting, all of that shit, right? And I don't want to rehash all that, but I've experienced this before. But to see this happen over Charlie Kirk and what they're doing to Candace Owens, sharing her address. That's particularly disturbing, especially when the name of the chat, okay, is protecting Mrs. Kirk. Well, I've never seen Candace Owens share Erica Kirk's address. You know, I have never seen her call for people to mass report her account. You know, I've never even seen Candace Owens call her evil or demonic. Isn't that interesting? It's almost like they are guilty of everything that they accuse you of. Every time, right? Every accusation is a confession with these people. Okay. And then, shout out to Candace. Obviously, she's dealt with the owner of this group chat before because she knew. Right? Let's listen to what she had to say about the owner of the group chat.
Exposed coordinating in a group chat. The group was brought together by an agent of Israel, no doubt, in the past, before Charlie was assassinated, that this person hosted a Spaces on X and went on record admitting that they gather intel, they collaborate with Green Berets, they collaborated with a Daily Wire employee, Cassie Akiva, the Gaza Humanitarian Fund, then run by Johnny Moore, to create files on people for the purpose of doing Israel's PR bidding. At that time, it was about what's happening in Gaza. And they were going after someone who Tucker Carlson had on his show. So, of course, the common sense question is, why is someone who focuses on PR for Israel focused on gathering 91 other people to attack me full-time over the Charlie Kirk case? Okay.
Not just you.
I'll show you this. The group chat got exposed because a member of the group went rogue and was like, I'm done with this. This is no longer healthy for me. Here is what she said over 2 tweets. Shady Lady Katie wrote, coordinated efforts are coming from some of these people. Here are all of the names who were in this group chat. I'm sharing information, background checks, reporting accounts, whining and complaining all day about Candace Owens, and even sharing Candace's own home address in this group chat. However, I will say that not everyone here participated. Some just lurked. Anyway, I am out of here. X is a digital, unfruitful wasteland, and I have a real life and SHIT to do. Go live your lives and build something. And she exposed 92 members in this group chat, which has the name Protecting Mrs. Kirk. Protecting Mrs. Kirk. And now some of these names are not, we know this is their full, I blocked them because it's just it's obvious it's their full-time job to attack me. Milk Bar TV, No Soup for Knowles, Paramount Not So Tactical, Brie Dale, Fake Catholic, Insurrection Barbie, just block. It's not even worth my time. Like, it's just the most obvious operation in the world. Nice to see it. Nice to go through these, and you should go through these 92 absolute losers who are losing despite doing this. I don't coordinate. I'm not on any group chats with 92 operatives, 10 operatives, 6 operatives, 2 operatives. I don't do this. I work with my team. I look for information. I may, reach out, obviously, to people who are also care about this case. Baron Coleman, hey, did you see this video? Give him a call. Did you find this? Did you cover this topic? He'll tell me what he knows. No one's coordinating to take down Erica Kirk. We're just coordinating to figure out who killed Charlie Kirk. And for some reason, these people find it to be synonymous with taking down Erica Kirk. I wonder why that is. So that's the question. Why does it take 92 operatives online coordinating, sharing my personal information, utterly psychotic, okay? My home address. Why are they obsessed with the takedown of Candace Owens? Well, the answer is because they know that I know. They know that I know.
I love that last part. They know that I know. They know that I know. It's not just that she knows. It's that she knows. It's not just Candace Owens that they do this to. It is anybody who stands against their narrative, right? And here's the most intriguing part for me. Why is Israel why are this is real? Sorry, sorry, YouTube, Don't throttle me. Don't throttle me. Why are this is real operatives trying so hard to control the narrative? Why do they have group chats with nearly 100 people coordinating to attack accounts like myself and Candace Owens and Baron Coleman and all these other small truthers? Why are they swarming our replies when they don't follow us? Why are they trying to dox us? Why are they trying to smear us? If you don't have anything to hide, then why are you trying so hard to maintain perceptions, right? I can tell you this much. I kind of dismissed all of the Israel motive angle until the Zionists started attacking me for investigating Charlie Kirk, especially when I wasn't talking about Israel. Shizreal. This is real, right? This is real. Katie, that girl Casey, go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, Diligent, for the space. Guys, please retweet the space. I'm going to retweet it. And guys, hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell. I can't help it. It's like a thing. I get on YouTube. I have to say these things. Thank you for the space, because I just wanted to vent. When I saw, first off, I saw your posts and stuff on Twitter, and then Candace, she covered it. And let me tell you something. There's pent up rage inside of me from at least, I'm going to say 2024. I'm not going to go all the way into, but at least a good 2 years. These people have come after people. I'm not going to go all the way into it, Diligent. I know, but this is not their first go around. Okay. This is what they do. Of course, they're passing her address along the group chat, but it's not just her too that they're going to go after. They're going to go after people who are who basically are very vulnerable. They will call your job. They will make up stories about you. They will find out who you are and where you are. And look, it is what it is. I'm not doing fear mongering, doom and gloom, none of that. Praise God. That's why we pray for protection. That's why I pray for everybody's protection in this movement, because when you are talking about the truth is a weapon of mass destruction for these people. And so that's why they try to shut down the conversation quickly, right? That's why they'll go for the little people too. Believe me, that group chat has a lot going on in it. I see the names in the group chat. I know these people very well, very well. So, but no weapon for them, and they can't shut down the truth. They can't shut down the truth. They thought that they were going to pull a fast one on people. I'm almost done. But they thought they were going to pull a fast one on people and then just all of a sudden tell us some tranny kid went and did something and we were going to be like, oh, the left or whatever. From the door, it was weird. It was always weird from the door. I didn't need, by the way, here's a new talking point for this week, that Iran is why we don't believe the Charlie Kirk narrative is going to be because of Iran, foreign enough. I didn't need Iran to tell me that.
Russia,
they didn't call 911.
Iranian, Qatarian, foreign operative.
Yes, everything. So we can't make up our own minds. We can't look and see that something wasn't adding up. Andrew Colbett's tweet about Charlie eating his vegetables literally said Charlie ate good. He ate his vegetables. That's why his neck stopped the bullet. That's normal. And if you question that, you have a problem, right? And Iran told you to question that, right? Stop, okay? Stop. You know what I mean? But yeah, thanks for the space. You don't even know. When I saw all that, I was like, oh, these people are still at it. But again, no weapon formed shall prosper. You just have to stick with the truth. We'll be okay. God is good.
God is good. That is true. Jesus is good as well. It's the scope of this thing is crazy, right? They have Andrew Wilson going on. Let me just say this. Andrew Wilson is legitimately a self-described paid by TPUSA actor, right? That's his own words, okay? Paid to teach people from TPUSA how to debate, according to him. And then, miraculously, at the same time, all of a sudden now he is the Fed slop, warrior, right? And so they have him going on... They have him going on Joe Rogan, right? This is how bad if you're wondering why the intensity and the scale of this propaganda operation to try to convince the American people of something that is obviously not true, right? If you're wondering why it's peaking in intensity right now, it is because on September 1st, Tyler Robinson's preliminary arguments conclude, right? That's why. And so as we approach September 1st, you're going to see the state. These are essentially state actors, right? You know, in my opinion, mouthpieces of the deep state, in my opinion. You're going to see the intensity of their rhetoric and their antics and their tactics intensify as they try to convince the public to swallow the Fed slop narrative. That way, they can bind Tyler Robinson over to trial and whatever they plan on doing with him. They can't allow this to go to trial. So they're either going to try to force him to plead guilty or they're, you know, I'm afraid for his life. I'll just say that, right? They cannot afford for this to go to trial. So I have a clip here and we'll go to the hands first. But, you know, this account used to follow me, right? These accounts that are now shilling the Fed slop narrative, they used to repost me, right? I used to be in this crowd, last year before Epstein. It was when I deviated on Epstein is when they started butting heads with me. I don't butt heads with them too much. But there's, you know, here he is. He's this account with 1 million followers. Okay. 1 million followers and followed by Elon Musk. Look at that. Okay.
Who, Jordan?
No, this is a different account. What? Stop. No, please don't do that. Andrew Wilson is on Joe Rogan, shilling the Fed slop narrative, attacking Candace Owens and anybody who isn't drinking the Kool-Aid. And what they're doing is, and this is the strategy, and this is why I'm talking about it. I really don't even care. It's important for people to see the psyop, right? I want you to be able to recognize it. Since they're losing on the facts, what they're trying to do is convince the base, right? The Republican, the MAGA base, the conservative base that TPUSA shares with the dissident right. Because the right is divided right now, right? There's a dissident right, and then there's the establishment right. And the establishment right is trying to convince the, you know, the middle ground people, the fence sitters on the right, or the center right, that if you are against the Fed slop official narrative on Charlie Kirk, then you are being funded by Act Blue or Democrats. This is a smear tactic to try to discredit you to the rest of the party, right? It is a tribal tactic. So I'm gonna read this to you. We'll listen to the clip and then we'll go to the hands. So, quote, new Andrew Wilson says, well, let's listen to the clip and then I'll read it.
Right now, you have progressives who are funded by Act Blue, right? And I've proven this. We traced all their money. It's progressives funded by Act Blue who are pushing the same narrative that like Candace Owens and others are pushing on the idea of Charlie Kirk's death and the conspiracy around that. So
they're absolutely being paid to push this?
Well, their stated mission, this particular progressive group, their stated mission was to take down TPUS.
So what he's doing here is he's grouping together people, right? If you are pushing conspiracy narratives or if you don't buy the Fed slop, then you are aligned with Act Blue. That's what they're doing. So what they're trying to other everybody who is dissenting. That's what it is. If you're on the right and you're dissenting from the Fed slop narrative, then you are a progressive Democrat. That's what he's basically saying here.
I'll tell you a story. This is the tale of all tales.
Okay.
So Charlie Kirk has this huge outreach program that's happening through TPUSA on these college campuses. He's got viral clip after viral clip after viral clip, and they are going wild. He's going campus to campus. He's doing his thing. He's being dogged by a progressive organization. This progressive organization shows up at almost all of these TPUSA events with the stated mission of trying to create a counter movement to what TPUSA is doing. Now, the woman who heads this particular organization received millions of dollars from Act Blue and other progressive organizations for this stated mission. That same woman right this second works with other op X accounts to push the messaging that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by his own TPUSA insider.
Works with other op X accounts, right? So what he's saying is he's calling you a political actor, a political operative. If you do not buy the Fed slop narrative, he is trying to say, using Joe Rogan's platform, that you are a Democrat political operative. The reason why they're doing this is very strategic. It's because we're approaching the midterms, right? And so he's using people's tribal team player instincts to say, listen, if you're on our team, you're eating the Fed slop narrative. If you're not on our team, you're a Democrat. That's basically what he's trying to do right now.
In order to push that narrative forward, because the stated goal still from that organization is to destroy TPUSA.
So how do we know that they've done this? Are there emails that have been found?
Well, the stated goal of this particular person
is to take down
TPUSA.
Right.
She's very open about that. And then the way that you know that they are talking to these other accounts is because they do it publicly. Those public accounts will talk to this account, right? Mm-hmm. Very openly. They reaffirm each other's posts. They say, wow, that's real interesting, this kind of thing. All affirming that same conspiracy that TPUSA was the ones who actually set up and murdered Charlie Kirk. And at millions of dollars in
I just want to highlight something here. Joe Rogan just asked him, how do you know that they're paying people on X? Well, because they're talking publicly. But he doesn't show any kind of like monetary. Let's listen.
Blue funding going towards this. No joke. Anybody can look it up right now. The organization's called Unfuck America. Right now.
So Unfuck America does exist. That is true. I don't know if they're funded by ActBlue. I think they are a Democrat organization. 100%. I think it is like the antithesis of TPUSA, or their attempt to try to rival TPUSA. But yeah, we're not bringing any weird alts in here. You're out. It is you notice that he did not bring any evidence to say that ActBlue is paying people who don't buy the Fed slop narrative, who are critical or are skeptical of TPUSA or the official narrative. Right? He just made a blanket statement and said, oh, well, because they engage with each other on the timeline. So if they engage with each other on the timeline, that's how you know they're getting paid. Well, I mean, if that's the case, then everybody's getting paid, right? Because we're all engaging with each other all the time. This is supposed to be like their chief debater, right? Their number one tactical debater got hired to teach people there how to debate properly, right? But he brings no receipts. The same thing happened with Kanoa. He did the very same thing. So this is how I know that it is a unified strategy, right? Is because of the approach. Okay, let me read you what he wrote. This is Kanoa the Great, Kane Koa the Great. Andrew Wilson says, I'm quoting, Andrew Wilson says a progressive group funded through ActBlue that sought to destroy Charlie Kirk's TPUSA is now helping push Candace Owens' theory that TPUSA insiders killed him. Quote, right now, you have progressives funded through ActBlue pushing the same narrative as Candace Owens. End quote. I'll just remind you, this is the same thing they tried with Epstein. Democrat hoax, remember? An attack on Trump. Very same strategy, okay? So this is a way to get everybody to stay in line, right, with their narrative. So while Charlie Kirk was alive, their stated mission was to take down Charlie's TPUSA. The woman who runs this organization received millions of dollars from ActBlue and other progressive groups to pursue that mission. That same woman is now working with others to push that claim that Charlie was assassinated by TPUSA insiders, while the organization's stated goal remains destroying TPUSA. Anybody can look it up right now. The organization is Unf America Tour. It's right there. And it does say building the Democratic counter to TPUSA, sponsored by National Ground Game. Donate and get involved. And then this is Kane Koa's contribution. Okay. It's no coincidence, I'm quoting him now. It's no coincidence that Candace Owens is aligned with an Act Blue funded progressive organization that wanted to take down Charlie's TPUSA while he was alive. Several of the loudest people who have pushed Candace's narrative, including, and you'll notice a theme here, including Stu Peters, Ryan Matta, Ian Carroll, Diligent Denizen, and Owen Benjamin, also hated and publicly attacked Charlie while he was alive. Many went from accusing Charlie of being controlled by Israel before his murder to claiming Israel killing him within days of his death. Now, an organization that Wilson says was funded to take down Charlie's TPUSA is pushing the same narrative. Why do you think that is? Well, one, I have never said that I disliked or even hated Charlie Kirk. I was critical of him one time about Epstein. This is public knowledge. I own it. And I wouldn't change it, right? He got the call from the administration and said that he wasn't going to talk about Epstein anymore. That's a verbatim quote, right? And I ratioed him on the timeline for it, right? You know what he did? The next day he flipped and said, okay, I've got a 10-point action plan about Epstein, right? After my viral pushback. So, and I didn't continue being critical after that, right? So I've never said I hated him, never said I disliked him. But what they're doing is they just mentioned all of us, right, in conjunction with Act Blue, right? That's what they did. So they're saying all of these people hated Charlie Kirk. One, two, they are aligned with progressive funded Democrats, right? That's what he's doing here in a blanket statement, which I got on him. I said, it looks like you just claimed that I'm being funded by Democrats to question the Fed slop. Hopefully you have evidence to support such a false and defamatory claim on such a large platform. I can tell you this much. I have never been funded by any Democrat or even Democrat-aligned organization or any such thing, right? So he responded, I understand reading comprehension isn't your strength. The point is simple. Many of the loudest people pushing Candace's narrative hated and publicly attacked Charlie while he was alive. As Charlie told you, stop spreading lies, right? He uses an out of context clip without any other context, right? And doesn't show anything on that. You can see the ratio there, right? I had 4,000 likes to Charlie's one, like a couple hundred, right? And then he adds in Stu Peters, who I don't know his history, right? And he adds in Ryan Matta, right? But I've never accused Charlie of being an Israel puppet, right? So he threw me in here. Why? Not because I ever told Charlie he was owned by Israel. I never said that. Never, not once, right? The reason why I did that is because I am critical of the Fed slop narrative. Not just that I'm critical, but because I'm effective, right? If I was a smaller account and I wasn't making waves or shedding light on problems with that narrative, right? And I wasn't effective at it, they wouldn't address me, right? But I don't check off any of these boxes. I have never hated or said anything negative about Charlie Kirk being owned by Israel. Never said that I hated him, right? Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. But it is also interesting is that he's quoting a TPUSA paid individual on Joe Rogan to push this messaging. Almost like it's a PR strategy. Imagine that. Imagine that. Oh, they don't engage in PR strategies? What if I told you that I have the people in that group chat in spaces attacking me, attacking Candace Owens and other people who are critical of the narrative, along with this guy? It's almost like it's a coordinated movement, right? Anyways, hit that like button, hit that repost button in the bottom right corner, everybody. Let's go to some hands. Go ahead, Godfroy.
Yeah, thanks, Diligent. I appreciate you holding this space and covering this topic. I think that it's unbelievable that these people are allowed to get away with outright terrorism, and it's not just Israel. There's people like Paramount Tactical and others that are doxing people, and it's outright illegal behavior. And how come that they're allowed to do this with impunity? They're allowed to get away with it. There's no punishment. And it has to stop. And we have to, I think all of us have to raise awareness about this and post about it, because it absolutely has to end. These people are allowed to dox people. They're allowed to harass you. They're allowed to coordinate on these chats, to use literal Israeli intelligence to go after people. I'm absolutely convinced they're using Pegasus and Celebrite and stuff like that to go after us on our phones. Why is this allowed? And I think we all have to sound the alarm bells, tag Elon in posts, and just keep the awareness up, because this has to end. And I wonder, and this is a question
whenever I
wanna ask.
report people for doxing, I get a reply back and say that it's not against the rules when it is.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, no, well, the other question I wanted to ask is, do you think that it was curious that Nikita Beer stepped down today in relation to, do you, I wonder if
The timing is a little weird.
It's curious, right? It's very curious.
Yeah, the timing is a little weird. I think that, he's had a massive fail. There's been a lot of failures of products over the last year. The creator program is a nightmare. You can't tell if you're monetized or not. I know accounts that are straight up just putting out AI slop and are making 20 to 40,000 a month. And then I know, journalists who are paying out of their pockets to go work on the ground and are losing monetization. It doesn't make any sense. He's put out products that, I can only think of a handful, maybe just a couple of products. I don't want to get into this whole conversation, but there is a lot of failure there. But, I saw all of these accounts today. Like, we can look at that real quick. All of these accounts, I cannot stand the simping for him. The simping, because he knows he's still like a part of X. With this guy, he replied to a journalist over evidence-based reporting and told her that she had a mental illness. This is the head of product at X. Arguably one of the most influential people within the infrastructure of one of the top 5 social media platforms in the world, right? And you have him making political statements, wielding that power and responsibility. That's Twitter shit, right? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to pass the torch and devote myself to my natural state. So he's resigning to an advisor position, right? You'll see all of these people. Elon says thank you. The country of origin was great, and just all of these people just like simping, right? And I'm not sipping. I said I'm not jumping on the sipping train. You engaged in political activism under your professional X account, and that is no different than the Twitter Elon purchased and tried to save us from years ago. There are a few products under you, I believe, actually improved the platform. Not many, right? I refuse. I'm not kissing the ring. I don't do that. Nope. You can, I don't care. I'm not doing it. I've never been like that. I'm not going to start being like that. They're kissing his ghost phallus. It's crazy. It's just the ghost of his phallus, and they're just jamming it down their throats. It's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Oh man, gross. Anyways, yeah. So obviously, I don't know that they're correlated. It is interesting though, like this post went viral today, and he announced his resignation shortly afterwards. I can't imagine that his resignation wasn't pre-planned though, right? Like that's, yeah, I can't imagine that it wasn't pre-planned. Who's next? What's up, AJ?
Diligent. All right, I'm going to say this. I think we have to attack this from a different level. Now, I think you're on the right track. We're going after Charlie Kirk, but a more important thing
We're
is
not
to
going after Charlie
identify.
Kirk.
I mean, going after the person who could have murdered Charlie Kirk or absolving Tyler. But put that aside. The more important thing is to identify these networks that are working with each other. We have an idea of who they're working with and what they're working with, but we really got to dig in deep. Once you discover the networks, then you take control of the whole entire narrative situation. By showing people the networks, you'll tell the people, the listeners, like, look, this is their network. They're getting paid by this. You can't really take what they say, take it with a grain of salt or just look into it further. And just identifying the networks, and how you could identify the networks, you run the biggest spaces, is to
Not
flip it
anymore.
up. Go back to Epstein. See who's attacking you there. Then we break down those networks. Then go back to Charlie Kirk.
A lot of them are in
Switch
this
your
group
narratives.
chat, man. Aren't these your friends?
Well,
Are these your people?
Who's that?
The people in this group chat. Right?
I lost you.
You lost
All right,
me?
so the people in the group chat that you named before, you're saying?
No, I posted you didn't see the post?
Now I got to look at it.
Oh God, you're way behind. You're talking about shit that happened months ago. What is going on here? Thought you were up to date.
I'm
on
just
your drama.
saying, there's certain networks like Paramount Tactical. Who's he working with? Who's paying
There's
him?
a list of 92 people that you are overlooking in your conversation. We have the whole group chat list. They're exposed. Mic check. My bad. Okay, Lune, go ahead, brother.
Lune, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said brother after. Andrew Wilson, I just wanted to point out to you that Joe Rogan has been on record saying that part of basically the narrative of Charlie Kirk's assassination is, quote, horseshit. And he's been on record criticizing Erica Kirk ever since the assassination. So, with your logic, are you surmising that Joe Rogan is also part of the Act Blue paid propaganda as well? Because I would think
you mean
that
by
would
his
probably
logic?
qualify him. His logic. I'm speaking to Andrew. That's what I said. Andrew Wilson. I'm speaking to Andrew Wilson because he went on a podcast of someone who does not believe in the narrative, talking about people who speak against the narrative with big platforms are paid by the Act Blue. Like, do you watch Joe Rogan? Do you understand his points of views at all? Like, I just honestly think it's hilarious, and I would have loved to see, because I can surmise that when you walked out of his podcast and you walked away, he was probably laughing at you and I mean, terrible PR stunt that you just tried to pull as you walked away.
Yeah, I'm yeah. He's not here, so I don't know. I don't like
I just think
talking.
it's really funny. Like, of course they went on a big podcast, but I mean, it's either they just don't even understand, they don't pay attention to the people that, for one, Joe Rogan and the stuff and his points of views. And so they completely
I mean,
just
did
looked
Joe
right
Rogan?
past.
I didn't watch. I'm gonna have to. I don't want to watch it. Did anybody watch
Joe
that?
Rogan, I didn't watch that specific podcast. I have watched Joe Rogan ever since Charlie Kirk's assassination, and he has called the official narrative horseshit. He has called out Erica Kirk. He has pointed out, I think he shared a few images of her when people were comparing her to Chucky's bride. I mean, I'm
I've
telling you
also
right
seen
now.
him backpedal when the powers that be flex on him.
Sure, maybe, but I mean, either way, it's on record. And so my point is that this guy comes along, and is speaking on behalf of TPUSA, accusing people of getting paid, and that's funny because you're on a podcast for someone that has actually criticized the Charlie Kirk narrative and TPUSA.
Well, I
So
mean, he's
what do you
literally
got? What do
getting
you got
paid.
there? Who? Joe Rogan?
Well, no, the other guy.
Andrew Wilson, right? As he's literally getting paid. My point exactly.
Go ahead, brother.
See, and hey, Diligent, and thanks for doing the space. For me, I saw this 92 person list, and obviously I have some back and forth with some of these people. And the thing about it is, I don't understand, and I don't see that happening in this movement with what you're doing and with other people that we associate with. We're looking for the truth. We're not looking to coordinate and attack people. We're not looking to organize to report other groups. Like it's foul
Yeah,
play.
where
And
are the screenshots or the videos of people on the truth seeking side engaging in this kind of behavior?
Right, because our weapon is the truth, and we know that. So we don't need to do these lowball tactics. It's derangement. They talk about Trump derangement syndrome. This is Candace derangement syndrome. This is truth derangement syndrome, and they will do whatever they can to shut down people. And you have, like I said, why is it that the people we all know, and I think it's fair to say the name because I mean they're saying this, but the stealth medical space that goes every day. We know what the subject matter is over there. Their priority is Israel, and that's fine. That's their right. If that's what they want to do and people want to go listen to that, hey, you know where to go. That space is over there. Go listen to it. If that's what you want, go consume it. You're not going to we're going to attack some of the points over here of why it would be silly to support some of those things, but we're not attacking those people. And it's revealing to see how these people think, the aggression, because we have a problem in our country with radicalization. And we know that by saying the things that they say, they dehumanize people. There are people out there that then start thinking that it becomes a battle of good and evil and that they have to act and do something, and then people get hurt. And that's why I'm really, shocked and disturbed by that behavior and seeing that they would go to that end, that they would just commit, not just any 92 people, by the way. There were people on there with over 1 million followers on those accounts, right? Like, and many
2
of
million.
them. So, and that's why I'm saying, like, you're not talking about just some small little group here. There's massive influence that's coordinated towards attacking people. That's wrong. I don't care how you look at it. And not only that, but if your space is about a country that's not the United States, how is it that the people that claim to be smart that constantly go in there don't see? Aren't you more worried about your own country? I hope that Israelis are worried about Israel first. They should be. They're Israelis. That's their country. Well, if you're American, why is it so hard? Why do you resist the idea that people want to prioritize and make sure that our country is doing things in its best interest, regardless of what your background is, regardless if you're Jew, Christian, or Muslim or whatever? If you identify yourself as an American, your number one goal should be to protect the sovereignty of our nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Anyway, it was very disturbing to see. And I just want to highlight truth seekers, man, that's why I'm here. That's why I support you, is we just look for the truth, and that's our best weapon. And we don't need
Paul,
anything else.
let me just tell you real quick. Actually, the other day, in Paramount Tactical Space, you want to know what they're the Fed sloppers, right? You want to know what they were calling us? They were calling us the truthers. How funny is that? Like, we couldn't have asked for a better name.
Yeah, right on.
They're the Fed sloppers, and we're the truthers. They're like, the truthers are talking about this about Candace. I was like, this is so fucking awesome. Thanks for the
And
name.
Diligent, why is a group where their number one goal is to talk about Israeli interest, why do they take so much concern over a Christian widow who her husband was killed by a trans furry kid? Like, what does that have to do with anything that they care about when their spaces are specifically designed to talk about foreign I don't understand why they would even be interested.
Diligent, may I please answer that question because he brings up a really good point, and I don't want to. I think it might have been me next. You mind if I answer that?
Just
But I don't
answer
want to
it.
like. Okay. No, but because I was going to bring that up. It's called defending Erica. That's a good question, brother Paul. What is it, brother Paul? It's because look at the last thing that Erica Kirk was on, the Make Heaven Crowded Again tour, whatever, I don't know, Maha, whatever nonsense she has going on, right? And look at the pastors that are on, and I'm not going to turn this into a religious space or eschatology or whatever. The pastors are talking. One of the pastors is a straight up bless Israel in order to be blessed kind of pastor, right? This is what TPUSA is, and I do believe with all my heart. But as much as you know how they say you hate Charlie Kirk, I've been told that you hated Charlie Kirk, and now look what this, that, and the third. I never hated anybody. I wanted to debate Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk definitely was smarter than he was putting on with this subject, and now we know even more that he knew a lot of what was going on with the pressure that he was getting in his last few days of his life, last few months rather, so probably last few years. Anyway, I think Charlie Kirk was really rejecting this push of TPUSA faith, Christian Zionism, and stuff like that. And here we are today. And now Miss Erica Kirk, she pushes it. She pushes it so hard. It's like everything that Charlie started to stand against is out the window. TPUSA must be protected for this thing that I still believe is an arm of the military-industrial complex that goes through our American church society. This is how it's always been anyway. And I'm not going to go through the history, but the TPUSA is the new way. And then they're going into schools, teaching them, about the chosen people and things like that. That's why it's Protect Miss Erica Kirk. That's why the name of that group says that. And it is adjacent to what they believe. It is important to them. Is that important? And then again, these people, they are very well connected and they go after small people. I'll end with this. It's not even just like, oh, you just got a few crazy people doing. You have a group of people who own most of the infrastructure in this country who are willing to go after people who are searching for the truth after they've already worked 2 jobs and everything else or whatever. They don't care what you're doing, who you are. If you're searching for too much truth, they want to shut you down. This is a serious issue. I don't even want to call it what it really is. But you mean to tell me that regular Americans who love their country so much who are saying, my government, I don't trust it. That's our American right to say we don't trust our government. And we're asking questions and then it's like, oh, this influential group of people who own most of the infrastructure is going to come shut you down for doing that? Okay, that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
If I can add one thing to that is, what's the problem with people looking for all angles about Charlie Kirk's death? If you really are a friend of Charlie Kirk's, if you really respected Charlie Kirk, if you're really upset and you want justice for Charlie Kirk, why are you upset that there are other people investigating other angles that maybe you didn't think about just to make sure that those angles are properly explored? Oh, do you have faith that the government is doing their job? Well, why do you have that faith? Bro, did you not pay attention to what happened during COVID? Did they do their job then? They sure as hell didn't. And our president has yet to take any accountability for Operation Warp Speed, just to at least say, obviously, some mistakes were made. Even if just that would be something to show a little bit of honesty, humility, like we did what we had to do. Maybe next time we can learn from those mistakes. But no, everything was great. It was the greatest thing that was ever done. And it's
Because he
just,
was in on it. He was in on Operation Warp
well,
Speed. He wanted to vaccinate people. That's why he brags about it. He
well,
he
I got,
wasn't innocent at all.
well, I get that. That's your opinion, Godfrey, and I
No, it's the
respect that.
truth. He's had
Oh,
every opportunity to prosecute people for it, and he let the clock run out in COVID, and he lied about the auto pen because he was involved with it. He gave Fauci a medal. I mean, there's nothing about Trump that is anti-COVID vaccine. Nothing.
well, he did give Fauci a medal. You're right about that. And all I'm trying to say is, so my point is, do they just all of a sudden we just trust the government on everything to make sure that literally the most important assassination since JFK, they think that we shouldn't be going and making sure after what happened to JFK, where we're still waiting to get the truth on that 40, 50 years, 60 years later, They think that it's not important for everyone who cared about Charlie to go and investigate and make sure the Patsy theories was their foreign influence theories. I think all of these should be explored so that we can make sure we rule them out if we want true justice for someone that we all had at least respect for. Because whether you agreed with Charlie or not, you had to respect what he was trying to do, talking to the youth, having open mic debates and conversations. He was a truther. That's why they're pissed off, is because Charlie was a truther. Like, he would have been in here looking for truth as well. He wouldn't have been scared to engage in conversations with Diligent in this space with people, hearing them, interacting with them. If he had disagreed with you, he would come to your face and say, you know what, Diligent, I think you're wrong because of this and this and this. Instead, they go and make little secret chats of 92 people with a lot of influence. We're going to go target these people because they're too scared to come in here and have an honest debate and an honest conversation, which would have been what's actually in the spirit of what Charlie Kirk represented.
And then just to back up, Brother Paul, on that and what you said, Diligent, before, when you did ratio Charlie Kirk, what did he say? He, you know what I mean? He thought about it, came back and was like, you know what, we're going to check this thing out a little differently.
He changed his position the next day.
Exactly. These people today, like his,
Yeah,
you know,
I'll
his
pull it up.
whatever, they kick people.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, they kick people out. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want. They push you out. They say, you know, you can't be here. Charlie would be like, "Come to the front. Tell me how you feel about." These people make me miss Charlie Kirk every day more and more. It is crazy. Like, but I didn't hate him. I just wanted to debate him, and that's the thing. Like, we were just realistic. We wanted to debate him, and we have realistic questions today.
Yeah, they. Well, you know how that that they're losing. To Candace's point. You know that they're losing because we don't have to lie to try to convince people of things, right? It takes a lot more effort to sell something that's not true than something that is true. All truth needs is to see the light of day, and then it convinces people on its own because it makes sense, right? And it's when they have to, resort to these tactics of creating group chats and coordinating at scale to conduct an information war campaign on people and try to smear them and discredit them and dox them and terrorize them. These are the actions of desperation, right? If you're confident in the facts, you don't need to behave like that, right? It shows you that they are pushing something that is flimsy, but it also shows you that they have a vested interest to sell something that has, no substantial evidence to support it, which is, what is your vested interest, right? If a foreign country isn't involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, well, what is your vested interest in trying to convince people of that, right? The facts should be able to speak for themselves. We don't need you to propagandize us. We can figure that out on our own, right? We don't need you to tell us that. The facts will tell us that. And it's the fear, the fear and the efforts create a Streisand effect. Again, like I said before, I had never even considered that as an option at the beginning. Not until I saw the text messages saying he was leaving the pro shit is real cause 2 days or a day before he was assassinated. But then also the elaborate efforts that have been revealed. This right here, these group chats, the propaganda efforts, the campaign against, you just saw that post from, Andrew Wilson on Joe Rogan and Kane Koa the Great, who has an account, 10 times as large as mine, coming after me, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense. What am I doing? You know what I mean? I'm reporting what I find. Why do you need to attack me for that? You don't see me out there policing his work, right? And he's punching way down. That's what I'm saying. He's punching way down. I think that when they have to do that, it shows the frailty of their position, right? It shows that they are trying to sell you something, and the American people aren't naive, right? They're not. We've been through the ringer with this institutional authority, right? Is it a coincidence that all of the people who were making fun of people who were saying trust the science are now telling you to trust the science when it comes to Tyler Robinson. Imagine that, right? These people were mocking people who were getting these people are sounding like the triple boosted. I'm sorry, but I mean, that's the way they sound now. It's like, wow, okay, you're triple boosted on your way to get 3 more. That's what you're telling me.
Put your mask on, Diligent. Put your
Yeah,
mask on.
exactly. Yeah, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Put your mask on, except for when you're eating next to somebody who's not wearing their mask. You don't have to wear it then, right? Get your 16th booster. That's where we're at now. These people were mocking the other side just a few years ago for saying stuff like that, and now they are selling you it, right? What happened to these people? I would argue they got bought, or they are some other compromised, or maybe they were never really for the truth. I don't know. It's something.
I think it's small. It's small and then I'll shut up because there's other hands. I'm being rude, but it's almost heartbreaking. Look, Andrew Wilson, man, I followed Andrew Wilson. Like, bro, man, he's good at what he does. I'm just like, why are you hitching your wagon to this? I don't know why these people want to sing, because nobody's buying it. Even people who aren't saying that they aren't buying it, they're not buying it. They're just afraid to say they're not buying it. Why are you people hitching your wagon? Just don't talk about it. I just don't understand it. It is like I'm baffled.
I am baffled. It's a great word. Junior, go ahead.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I think you guys are hitting it like bang on. Like, these guys' intentions is very clear. It's very obvious that you guys are hurting them with these narratives, the narratives that somebody else might have killed Charlie Kirk. And the reason you guys are hurting them is not actually because you might be right, but it's because any sort of negative attention, towards their cause or their people or their nation, correct, or their operations, is seen as a threat by their body of government or by their body of organization. Like, they've said multiple times they are going to declare war on us online. And I think that's what's going on here. I think they're literally declaring war on people like you, like on your spaces, and they're using resources. Like, they're getting funding to do this shit. That's why I'm surprised that people don't support you. That's why I'm surprised people don't help fund your spaces and help fund all these things that you're doing. Because if you're getting attacked, dude, the first thing people should be doing is putting money in your pocket, because the people that are attacking you have a lot of money. This is a strategy. This is like you're going to war against them, and now they're going to war against you. So I hope that everyone listening, I'm not sure how to support you, Diligent, but I hope that everybody listening supports, donates in any way they can, shape or form. Like, there's 420 people in your spaces. I'm sure you get a lot more numbers, but I'm telling you, dude, you have a very good fan base. I hate to be the one doing this, but I really am asking people to support you, because if people are going to attack Diligent, you have to understand that they're going to go hard. They're going to use their funding. They're going to try and deplatform him. They're going to try and attack him. And if you guys genuinely enjoy the work that Diligent is doing, if you cared about Charlie, right? Baseline, if you simply cared about Charlie, or if you care about America, or you care about the truth, right? You guys call yourself truthers. Support Diligent. Support his spaces. Put your money where your mouth is. Don't call yourself a truther if you haven't even donated a single dollar to this space.
Well,
Don't call yourself a truther. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. And really the best way is by helping me push my, and right now, investigative content, I don't know, man. Ever since I came back from Utah, my account's been throttled to shit. I even noticed when Candace, and her reach is massive, when she reposted me today, that account, I just watched it. Like, I watched the analytics, and after you've done this for a few years, you know when something's moving virally, you know how it behaves. I watched it throttle her, and then there were people in the comments that were saying that they aren't getting notifications for her or on me on YouTube. And I've noticed that my YouTube numbers have just jumped off a cliff over the last week. And well, since I covered the other rifle on UVU, right? It is just, and I think that these, you know, I don't know that this is attributed to these groups, but they also mass report you, right? They work in these massive groups. This is just one example. There's networks of these groups. How many of those group chats? I know Stealth, for example, 100%. She says this in her spaces. She's in dozens of these group chats. She's not, that's just one. She's in dozens of group chats that coordinate. Dozens. They use Telegram. They use Discord. They use Signal. They use X chats. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on to coordinate to.
But all these things are against TOS, right? All these things are against.
Yeah, but they're not doing shit about
how
it.
has this been
you know, that they just, you just had Candace Owens report that they shared her address in this group chat. Where's Elon Musk? Why is he not addressing that? That's a clear terms of service violation. You guys remember when a random guy like jumped on the hood of his car that his kid was in? It was like the year before last, right? They were sharing. There was a guy on the platform who was sharing Elon's plane in location, and after it landed at an airport, a crazy person jumped on the hood of the car, right? And you know, assaulted Elon's kid pretty much. And that's a result of this kind of behavior. Well, why isn't he doing something about it? I don't know, man. It's been weird the last 10 year. It's like ever since he said something about Epstein and then needed to walk it back, deleted his posts, and it's like the government leveraged him hard. Right. It's like he bucked up against the establishment and the establishment won. That's what I feel like. And
I'm sorry.
And you
It's
can see
always-
the effects of that on the platform, right? Like they're censoring people like my co-host Harmony. She doesn't fucking do it. She's a hippie, dude. She posts about hot yoga. Why is her account banned right now? Right. But then you got groups of people in group chats doxing home addresses, and you can't do nothing about that, but you're gonna suspend hot yoga co-hosts. What the fuck is going on here? It's yeah, things are messed up. What were you saying, Casey?
Well,
They're like the left. They're organized like the left.
It's bigger than, again, I can't stress to you how much this is why I was screaming about this like at least for 3 years, but I understand. You've come around to it because your investigations, and you were just simply investigating, are adjacent to certain things. They deal with certain things. This has been going on for a while. You want to know when Elon switched up? He took a trip. He took a certain kind of trip, okay? And then after that, some of us who were already, you know what I mean, talking about certain things, already peeped what was going on. I'm telling you, these things have been allowed for a while. And you will see weird things start happening in your life. This is not doom and gloom or to fear monger. And then you do the connections and you realize like, oh, okay, this is what happened, and it started on this app, and they're allowed to run amok. His handlers, he has handlers too. Can you imagine being a billionaire with handlers? But yeah, he has handlers, a trillionaire, right? This has been going on for a while.
The richest man in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and so who's on top of that? Like, that's just insane. Whatever. So I don't even want to start that, right? But but you just now you're gonna see. It's a shame.
That brings up an important point too. Like you were talking about, like these people, they're operators. A lot of these people are in the intelligence community. They're like Gary is working on behalf, like he's a Green Beret. Green Beret specializes in psychological operations as well as special
he has
forces
government
operations.
Contracts.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's the difference between us and them. We're here organically. Most of us, I mean, there's people that have infiltrated, obviously, but most of us are here organically, and they're here as part of an intelligence operation, either from the military, the CIA, or Mossad. And you have these spaces that are outright, there are these chats that are run by Mossad agents. This is an intelligence operation. That's what we're up against. And that's a big difference between us and them. And I think everybody in X is starting to sense that. Like, This is not organic. You're getting talking points from Langley,
She's
Virginia,
literally admitting
from
that
Tel Aviv.
She's
Like,
she's
it's not
building
real.
files on American citizens on behalf of Israel. What is up with that? That's not okay. They're not
That's
allowed
not
to build
legal at
files
all.
on me. What the fuck?
It's outright sedition and treason. I mean, it's an insurgency operation. There's no other way to describe it.
Let's go to chivalry.
Hey there, thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to touch up on a few things. So, like, what you were saying earlier about like follow the science and all the BS with COVID that kind of woke everybody up. It's like they weren't following the science; they were just giving us fake science, and it just it kind of has this weird sort of like Joseph Goebbels propaganda feel to it, right? Like, I mean, eh, they're not following the science at all, and they're just pushing this fake science in our face. And when it comes to Charlie Kirk, I mean, a lot of what they're presenting as science isn't science. Like, for example, I've been trying to push in the comments with people who are like, oh, his DNA is all over everything. It's like, yeah, but they keep emphasizing like, he's the major contributor. And it's like, of course he's the major contributor because it belonged to him. But, it was more degraded because he probably hadn't touched it in a while. It's probably sitting in his closet, and these four other contributors, their DNA was less fragmented. So, according to the FBI's own scientific practice of who they determine, like, oh, who used this murder weapon to kill this person, they look at, when they look at the electropherogram, they see that, oh, this DNA is less fragmented. So this person touched it last. So that's the person we need to start looking at. And it's like, it's just this Alice in Wonderland, just like through the looking glass, they just flip it around and they try to convince people that, because his DNA is all over it. Oh, well,
We're
he
getting a
must have
little
done it.
up in the weeds. I want to keep it back on the propaganda effort.
Okay. So if we're gonna stick to the propaganda, I would just say, I mean, that's kind of part of it is, these psychological operations they're doing. I mean, if you dig into the manuals, and sorry, I'm a little nervous. I'm not a big public speaker, but um, like if you dig into the actual Army manuals, what they teach, or you know, um, what's his name, Chase Hughes. He's a good guy to follow if you want to understand some of this stuff. And they're just there's a pattern, and when people educate themselves on this stuff, it's real easy to see. And most of the time, all of this, like these people who are caught up in, oh, the left or oh, the right, most of the time the left and the right are just a good cop bad cop scenario, and they're both
Agreed.
trying to screw you.
Agreed.
They're both trying to manipulate you into going a certain direction because they start out with what their objective is, and then any means necessary to get to that objective. So we have an objective, so we need to create a problem that then causes the reaction they want, where people demand
Problem,
a
reaction, solution.
specific solution.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
The Hegelian dialectic.
Exactly. And it's all very predictable once you see you see those pieces, and it's like that's just what they're doing.
I see
And
the I'm sorry to interrupt you. Shady.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, you're good. Shady, I see you down there. If you come up, if you could, I wish you would come up. I sent you an invite. I don't know if she's still down there. I can't tell. Yeah, she's down there. Yeah, if you could come up, Shady, I would love to talk to you about this chat. I saw that you. It seems like she is like, she supports. If you don't know who that is, if you're looking on the screen, it's the woman who, shared the.
I found it.
It's a woman who shared the screen recording of the chat, right? That's on your screen right now.
Yeah.
And when I was talking to her, she said that she thought that a lot of the people who joined that chat were probably well intentioned, and I could see how this happened, right? All you need is a few like organized operators to manipulate people into doing things they wouldn't normally do based on an emotional premise, right? This is psychological operation, right? So she said that it became very cult-like over time, and the antics or the actions got more extreme, like to the point where she felt so bad about it that she came out with this today, and I believe she believes the official narrative, right? So that just goes to show you that not everybody who believes the official narrative or is even defending the official narrative is necessarily like a bad actor, right? Like they can genuinely, if you could just mute up for a second, Chivalry, they might genuinely believe their position, right? And they might genuinely believe that, they are defending the truth from their perspective, right? So I think like immediately going to calling people an agent or an asset or a Zionist even, I think it is a misnomer. I think that, you should I believe in individual accountability, right? Always, right? But when you see, 90 people in a group chat and all of those same people are attacking you, I think it's fair to assume that they're operating as a group. But maybe not all of them are knowingly participating in an operation, right? Like they could be convinced to act within the bounds of that operation without really fully understanding what they're participating in. And I actually think this is probably much of how these things operate, right? You have cells of operators, right, who play on people's emotions or desires or positions, and then call those people into groups, herd them together, and then, over time, agitate them to a point where they can get them to act on their behalf in a desired way, right? I believe that's probably what we're witnessing here. But I can tell you, like, a lot of those people that I see on that list have come at me hard, tried to dox me, smeared me, lied about me, all kinds of crazy shit over the last year. And they are definitely bad actors. Not all of them, but quite a number of people on this chat have done some really nasty shit to me and other people as well. I know that did not deserve it, right? So fuck those people. Go ahead, Prescient.
Yeah, thanks, Diligent. Another excellent space. Thank you for holding it. When I started listening to the space today, I didn't know who this group of 92 was. So I went to your page and I just went down and down until I found your post about it. And then I posted that post. And what I said was the not so stealth operative is all I need to know. I mean, this is one of the most blatant, I don't know the term to use, untruth tellers on X. This stealth operative. She used to be my friend because I'm into the health aspect of our lives.
I used to be friendly with her too in spaces.
She used to follow me.
Yeah.
And we would be in chats together because of the health aspect of our lives, because I'm quite an expert on that, health. And so she used to follow me until she found out that I wasn't so happy with that entity over there in Palestine. Then she blocked me. And she's had me blocked for a couple of years now. So when I saw her name on that list of 92, and you made a good point just now, not everybody on that list, some of them just don't necessarily understand the deep evil that she represents, is how I would put it. And so that was an excellent point that you made, because sometimes me and maybe others have made the mistake of, if there's a group with this one person at the head, then you got to condemn everybody in the group. And I think that's a mistake. And so that was an excellent point that you made. Let's do our best not to do that, because some people just don't know the whole story, and they're kept from knowing the whole story on purpose. And then they're used as tools, for the dark side, for lack of a better way to put it. But let me read you, if you'll allow me, let me read you a post from Charlie Kirk, November 30th, 2023. It's not that long. Would you allow me to read that post from Charlie Kirk? Because I think it's relevant to this conversation.
Go ahead.
I was smeared. This is Charlie Kirk, his post. I was smeared as an anti-Semite and Holocaust denier for even broaching this topic. And the topic that he broached was, I think it was a New York Times article. And then Charlie goes on to say, turns out I was on to something. The New York Times article says, Israeli officials obtained Hamas's battle plan for October 7th attack more than a year before it happened, documents, emails, and interviews show. But Israeli military and intelligence officials dismissed the plan as aspirational, considering it was too difficult for Hamas to carry out. Paragraph 1. There's only 3 paragraphs. Paragraph 2. The approximately 40-page document, which the Israeli authorities codenamed Jericho Wall, in quotes, outlined point by point exactly the kind of devastating invasion that led to the deaths of about 1,200 people.
I don't want
Paragraph 2. End of paragraph 2. It's only one more paragraph. Go with me. The translated document, which reviewed the New York Times, did not set a date for the attack, but described a methodical assault designed to overwhelm the fortifications around the Gaza Strip, take over Israeli cities, and storm key military bases, including a division headquarters. Hamas followed the description with shocking precision. Right there, Charlie Kirk posted that in 2023, blowing the cover on October 7th. Do you think that might be a reason that certain people in that Palestinian entity might want to have killed him? I do.
Thanks, Prescient.
Charlie Kirk posted it, not me.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to get the woman who posted that to come speak with us. I was a little distracted. It is. Well, here's the thing. Here's what I'm starting to believe what happened is that the Zionists lost the left, right? So they have co-opted a part of the right, to support Israel because they have to, right? Like Israel depends on the United States for a lot of its security. So using money and influence and access and all of the influence that it has within our political sector, you think about all of the AIPAC funded Congress members that we have, Senate, Trump, right? It uses that access with media to control the media, right? It's not just money. People that post things aren't just getting paid $7,000. I mean, it's funny to make jokes about it or whatever. A lot of these people will do that shit for free just to have access to people within the system, right? To have access to the apparatus, to be able to ask questions to Pete Hegseth, right? That kind of access equals clout. It equals money. It equals notoriety. It equals popularity for them, right? So I got to quit saying right all the time. Someone told me I was doing it too much. Anyways, that's beyond the point. Access is a incentive on its own. And they are very good at wielding access and incentive to control narratives. I think that access and that like the old levers of influence are no longer working for them, because there's the fact that they have to engage in these kind of like group operations on Americans. It illustrates a weakness, right? It illustrates a vulnerability. If you were secure in your influence and your ability to control the narrative, this wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I agree. That's another very good point. They are fearful that too many people are blowing their cover.
100%. Are you there, Mace?
I'm here.
What do
I'm
you,
here.
do you have anything to add to this?
I mean, I just, I'm just kind of listening in. I'm reading something that my cousin just sent me. I'm about to send it over to you. It's quite interesting.
Well, do you have any comment on these group chats or the operations? You were all excited when we first got here. Now you got
Yeah,
nothing.
because they have well, I was letting you do your thing. They have targeted me forever. I mean, going back to the whole the shit with October. Well, I'm not gonna. Yeah, what did you say? I forgot. I forgot the word you came up with. Anyway, they and this is coordinated. Like the specific things that they would say, but they would put it in their own words, and then they would all be kind of like beefing up the comments and like I don't know. It's a kind of like a gang type of mentality. I don't want to say stalking or anything like that, but it's kind of like this mentality of overwhelming, the comments and having each other's high-fiving and doing all that stuff. It's a tactic to get people to think that the majority of people think that this is crazy, like this is dumb, and they're and it's it's really interesting to me because they're trying so hard and they're failing right now. Like no matter how hard they try, the more stupid that they look. And perhaps it's my algorithm, but it's almost like everybody's laughing at them right now. Like you guys are just you're destroying yourself by yourself. Like it's almost like they just can't even drop the shovel,
My for you
And
is nothing but Fed slap. I'm not joking.
but really,
It sucks.
I'm just seeing like every like I feel like that they are trying. Do you think that they think they're winning?
No, these are not the actions of somebody who's winning or confident.
Exactly. That's yep, exactly my point. It's wild. It's really wild. Yeah, for the longest, I was actually friends with a lot of those people too during the COVID time. Like, just the whole thing about the censorship and the vaccines, and like
Whoa,
we
whoa,
were
whoa, whoa! I'm on
partnering.
YouTube.
Oh,
Chill.
I mean the
Jab.
jab,
Coof. Come
whatever.
on.
Sorry, yeah. Well, we were all kind of on the same side of things, and it's crazy to just see how things have turned out.
I agree. I agree. Okay. Yeah, I was going to do the a video walkthrough, or like I wanted to like kind of all watch all of the Charlie Kirk footage again tonight, but it's getting late. It was getting late, and I wanted to teach the audience. If these people are willing to engage in this kind of behavior to convince you for whatever reason, right? If they're willing to run background checks on Americans, mass report their accounts, and share Americans' home addresses to convince you that Israel did not off Charlie Kirk, imagine what else they would do, right? If these people have no scruples engaging in this kind of behavior, what else do they do? Right? Over what other issues? I don't trust them at all. I don't, anybody who does this kind of stuff, even if it's people that I agree with, I don't trust them. Right? You don't, just because somebody agrees with you, but they do bad shit, it does not make it okay. Right? If they do bad shit, they are not good people. These are not the actions of good people, right? These are not the actions of like country loving Americans that I know, right? Conservatives, patriotic people, they don't engage in sharing people's personal addresses and trying to stoke people to do heinous crap. These are the actions of bad actors. 100%. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. Hey, Diligent. No, a lot of people probably here don't know, but the one person who um one time said that she needs to get on her PJ to go consult the Prince of Dubai about COVID. Um, she and three other people, because it was given to me by a person, were splicing my voice from Spaces, gave it to the FBI, wrote my job, which I posted in my timeline, thinking that I wasn't the boss, saying that I was calling for the murder of children.
Easy, bro. I'm on
A-
YouTube.
oh, sorry. And attacked me viciously because in the very beginning of the Gaza conflict, I was, a lot of my posts were getting a lot of traction, so I became a target of theirs. So this is what they did, Diligent. And the only reason why I know is because there was someone that I kind of got along with on their side that decided to warn me and be like, look, they're creating a group that's splicing your voice together to send to the feds. This is what they did. Like these people are dirty as could be.
They
Um,
were trying to, I posted this. They were trying to set me up for witness tampering a few weeks ago in Utah, right? Literally set me up. Like these are not good people, man. Right? They do act like what I said the left acted like, which makes me think that it's not the left. It's a specific type of person who behaves that way, regardless of his left or right. Right? These are people that have no scruples. They obviously don't operate with like a moral code. They are willing to share your home address. They're willing to lie to try to get you arrested. They're trying to get you doxxed. They're trying to get you swatted. They want to get you hurt. I would imagine they probably wouldn't mind if you were deleted off the face of the earth, right? If you were opposing their narrative. Just saying.
Yeah, they treat people that are on their list as if they are actual terrorists and a threat to society and will go to no lengths to eradicate that person, ruin their life, or do whatever they can. On top of, saying things like she's hopping on her PJ or she's the one that got Megyn Kelly to endorse Trump. I mean, the countless lies that I've heard from this woman who was never a virologist, was never a doctor, and on a regular was giving out medical information, which is a crime. This is I don't hate a lot of people on here. This woman to me is the epitome of evil, not just what she did during COVID and the lies she spread and medical information she gave away, but positioning herself as an actual virologist when all she did was work in a marketing department. She then does these kind of tactics which she should be in jail, right? Literally, she should be in jail. And there's a lot of information I know about her because it was given to me by the FBI after this happened, which I haven't shared, but she better tread lightly because I have that info.
Well, let's not
Um,
make any
e-
threats or
yeah,
anything in my spaces. I don't do that.
I'm not going, it's not physical to her or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, dirty tactics. The only thing is, Diligent, if something happens, the FBI knows exactly who she is. So, hopefully nothing bad happens where you need to be in contact with them, but they probably will try everything they can.
Uh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Diligent, just so the Android users know, I got kicked out the app. There's a big update for Android users, like a 33 megabyte just hit right now.
Thanks, brother. Go ahead, Destiny.
Hey, Dylan. Hey, everybody. Um, yeah, no, I was just listening in and I thought it was interesting, about stealth. We used to be pretty good friends, which is like shocking to people. Because of COVID, like Prashant was saying, there was a lot of us that met through other topics before Gaza came around, before Charlie Kirk. And so the contention wasn't there wasn't a reason for
She
them to hate.
activated when after October 7th.
Hold on, pause. Happy birthday, beautiful. Okay,
Happy
I've been
birthday,
trying to
Destiny.
hunt your ass
Happy
down all
birthday!
day. Happy birthday. I
We
just
said
wanted
it
to
this morning at like, what time was it? Like 12 in the morning, Maze?
Man, I texted her like 10 minutes before saying it's a countdown. You know what I mean? I sent her a little like birthday cake at midnight.
Thank you
Anyway,
Happy
guys.
birthday.
Thank you so much. Getting older. Yay.
And belated for Maze.
And
33
yes, of
life
course,
path.
Leo season. Gotta love it. No, I don't want to dwell on that. It's not the topic here, but thank you guys. No, about stealth. Like what's really and stealth was good in a lot of ways with COVID. I wouldn't take I don't take anything away from people, even if we don't get along, if I don't like you or whatever. If you did something right, you did
I
something
don't have a
right,
problem with her. I wish she'd stop attacking me.
I wish she would too, but she's sh- oh goodness. Her father's in the military here. And so there's this kind of, I think, ideology kind of set in with that kind of thing with her a little bit, very aggressive, if I guess is the word I'm going to use, on what she finds to be important. And I mean, she's very aggressive during COVID. It seems to be extraordinarily aggressive since October 7th. I haven't even spoken to her. We haven't spoken because she saw my stance on the Gaza war. And I was very critical, of course, of Netanyahu and Israel and the IDF. And, she didn't like that and spent a lot of time kind of talking shit to people in my circles, which sucked, but it was like, whatever. I was talking shit too. I was like, look at those fucking Israel spaces, 24 hours bullshit.
YouTube,
Hasbara.
Destiny, YouTube.
Oh shoot. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Okay, sorry. Sorry, Dilly. My bad, YouTube. Get mad at me, not him. But what's crazy about her in particular is that for a lot of people, they woke up to the whole, I guess you would say JQ a lot long, like earlier before that I did. It was she herself, which is crazy. I don't know if she knows it, but she's the one who opened my eyes without even knowing it, over a conversation once when we were casually talking over lunch, and she was telling me about her son in Israel.
I don't want to talk about
And
people's personal stuff.
no,
Like, let's
I'm
not
not going to
talk
get
about
into
her
that.
dad. Let's
I'm
not
just
talk about
saying,
her kids. I don't want to talk about that.
no, yeah, good. I'm not saying anything about them in particular, like good or bad. I mean, they're people.
I just don't
So
want to talk about their family.
I
I don't
agree. I
agree.
agree. That's not the point I'm talking about. The point I'm talking about is that she was telling me about her faith because I was just open-hearted Christian, unknown Zionist at the time, just accepting the things that I had learned. And then she told me out flat what she thought of Jesus Christ. And I remember like feeling the need to like pick my jaw off the floor in that conversation. And we never spoke again after that, because I was so taken aback by what she said. And that's when I realized the ideology is it's not just ideology, it's like religious deep with a lot of these people. And the links that they're willing to go to, um, just like the propaganda that was put out of like, oh, the holy jihad during 9/11 kind of era. Like that idea, they carry themselves, even though they pushed it so heavily. But it's really, there is a place in the Middle East that wishes death to America, and it might just be our greatest ally. You know what I mean? Like that's that's the sad reality, and it's really shocking. But it's interesting to hear people talk, particularly about her and her abilities to like rile
I
people up to
I
come bot attack everybody,
I
and it's
had
wild.
I had followed her for a long time. Always included her in my attempts to grow spaces. Um, even when we disagreed, and I blocked her when I saw her coordinating with that 0 hour guy as he was trying to dox me over Epstein. I they were in a space together. He has a community, and I went and listened to a space that she was in with him, and they were coordinating on doxing me. And I was like, what the fuck? I had never said anything negative to herself. I wasn't talking about Israel. I wasn't attacking Israel. There was no reason, right? No reason other than what I was covering with my reporting, right? Which was Epstein. This was even before, actually, this may have been after Charlie Kirk, right? she had no reason to do that. But as soon as I saw that she was in there and that she was participating in that, I blocked her. And before
But
that,
what would be the reason for someone to dox another person? Like, what's the reason?
Intimidation.
yeah, it's to intimidate, it's to harass, it's to frighten you. Yeah, they want to. It is to silence you, is what it is. It's either to smear you or silence you. Try to dig up dirt on you so nobody else will listen to you, right? Try to cancel you, or to scare you into submission, right? To silence you. And I always double down. Like, it seems like they would have figured it out last summer. It has the opposite effect on me. If you try to force me to shut the fuck up, I'm gonna go harder, right? And I'm good at it. Like, you're actually going to focus me to do a better job and at whatever it is you don't want me to do, right? I'm obsessive. I fixate. I have Asperger's. You're going to trigger me into like a silent focus, and then I'm not silent, right?
He's going to spurg out.
I'm going to spurg. There you go. Right. I'm going to spurg out and get to the facts of the matter. And then I'm going to blast it everywhere, just like you don't want me to do. Like, you're actually having the opposite of the intended effect. It's not a good strategy. And just like this chat, right? If your efforts, if you have a coordinated effort to try to get Americans to not think that Israel was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, well, creating group chats and then attacking Americans who are investigating Charlie Kirk's assassination, that makes you look guilty, right? Like, that has the opposite effect. That is how guilty people act. Guilty people do not try to force people into silence, right? That is not how, innocent people do not try to force people into silence. That is the act of guilty people. I'm not saying they're guilty, right? But it makes you appear guilty, right? I said this before. You can go back and listen to my spaces, right? When I first started covering Charlie Kirk in spaces, people would try blaming Israel and I would shut them down immediately, right? Do you know who made me entertain the idea of Israel being involved? Zionists. They're the ones that made me entertain the idea of it, right? Your absolute insane fervor, right? Your zeal in trying to force a narrative, right? Attacking anybody who even just questions, right? This is the behavior that made me go, why are they so invested in this? Right? Why? Why are you so invested in this? I had never blamed Israel. Again, you can go back and listen to my spaces. I actually shut that conversation down, right? So if you're coming after me, who's moderate, right, then why? Like, what is your intent? What are you afraid of? I think that the facts... let the facts be the facts. You know what's amazing to me is I blame my government for all kinds of stuff. Most Americans do. If you were to walk over to maybe 100 people in any given city and say, hey, I think that the government took out Charlie Kirk and the U.S. government, people aren't going to get all bent out of shape and start screaming at you or trying to find out where you live or tell people, that you are a criminal or that you're a grifter or that you need to be canceled. They're not going to call your job and try to get you fired, right? They're going to be like, yeah, that makes sense. Right. And they're not going to be all bent out of shape about it. Why are foreigners so obsessed about how we look at our own country and our own narrative? Right. This is doesn't make any sense. Most citizens are okay with the thought that their government does bad shit. Right. So why are you so invested in convincing me that your government didn't do anything bad? To the point where you're organizing, 100 people in a group chat to try to force people to believe something. It screams like it screams desperation, and that makes me think that you have something to hide. You know, what do you know that I don't? That you're so afraid of me finding out, right? What do you know that we don't? That you're so afraid of us finding out? That's what it feels like. It's the actions of fear. It's not the actions of confidence. It's not the actions of somebody who is well intentioned, seeking to find the facts. Those are the actions of somebody who are guilty, and maybe they're not guilty. Maybe they're just afraid that Americans are going to blame Israel and then withdraw all support or something, and that leaves their country vulnerable. That would actually, even if I disagree with it, is a rational explanation, right? That's a rational explanation that I could accept, even if I disagree with it, right? But they're not giving us that. It's just, oh, we're vested in this because, you know, the anti-Israel people are using it as whatever, right? But your own behavior is giving the anti-Israel people a stone to throw at you. You know, if you were over here seeking the truth, the same as your opposition, they could not use that against you. But since you are trying to uphold a lie, it makes you look worse. Like the solution is not to pummel somebody. The solution is to say, hey, you know what? This doesn't really make sense. I think that we're going to look for the answer with this, you know, look for the answer to this with you. How about we help you with that? How about we ask questions? How about we try to figure it out? But instead, you get group chats calling you a demon, an evil, and trying to silence you. That is, it doesn't, you know, make it make sense.
Well, just to point out that the whole situation is shady. That it kind of, I'm only making an assumption, but from what I saw, it started because she was getting doxxed by the people that were supposed to be on her side, and I think she just got to the point where she was just like, "Yeah, I'm over this. Like, what is going on right now?"
I tried to get her up. She said she was too tired. So
I was just pointing out that like that tactic isn't going to work whether it's on your side or the opposite side. You're just going to push people to decide like you're not a good person, whatever side you are.
If you lay in,
if those are your tactics,
that's a good point. It's such a good point. If you lay in bed or if you make your bed with people who engage in that kind of behavior, what do you think they're going to do when you piss them off? When you get out of line, right? People who engage in that kind of behavior, if you don't do what they want you to do, they're going to do that to you. They're going to bully you. They're going to harass you. They're going to dox you. They're going to try to ruin you. And they have done it over and over and over. And apparently, like you said, it looked like I was looking at that woman's timeline and they did start to do that with her. Right. So, I don't associate with people like that. If I see people on even if they agree with me, doxing or trying to dox or trying to throw somebody's past in their face or whatever, I always condemn that kind of behavior, even if we agree. I will ask people to delete it. I've DM'd them. I'll do it on the timeline. My position has been very consistent with this. This is not okay behavior. This is dangerous behavior. It's extreme behavior. It's extremist behavior when your enemies do it. It's extremist behavior when your allies do it. Right? You should never participate or condone that kind of behavior just because you don't like the person that it's happening to. Because eventually the person that's happening to is going to be you. Go ahead, Miss Lou.
That was a perfect point. That is exactly what I was going to say, Diligent. I just want to say one thing. I don't talk about people who are not in spaces, and you always make that a rule. But I will say this. I got in an argument one time, and she agreed that you are not anti-Semitic. And I made that real clear and real forceful in her space. Okay? And she agreed. She said, no, he's not. So that's all I want to say. She knows that about you.
I mean, I don't care what her opinion.
No, I know you don't. I'm just saying of the exchange that I had with her, and I don't talk about people that are not currently in a space.
I
that
mean, I have her
believe.
blocked, so she can't come in here. They talk about me all
So,
the time.
well, let's just not around me. I would, and I tell people, you go in this space and you in this space. I said, I'll go in any space that I choose to. I've been in pro-Iranian spaces. I've been in Soleimani spaces. I go in any space where I feel there might be a guest that's interesting or that I can find something interesting, a fact, because you could go in a space with a bunch of a-holes and still there might be some grains of truth. Okay. So to me, I want to be able to gallop anywhere I please. And if somebody tries to tell me I'm a bad person for wanting to go in this space or that space or whatever, I go, that's your opinion. And that's all. I won't argue about it. But I look forward to your next space on the Kirk situation. It's just
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a video walkthrough. I think tomorrow. I'm going to be traveling soon. I'm trying to get that figured out. I'm not sure exactly when I'm leaving, so I got to dance around that because I got to pack the vehicle and prepare for all that and make arrangements. But yeah,
good. When's the next hearing for the trial?
September 1st.
Whoa, we're close. All righty. Thank you, Diligent, so much. Good to see you, Maze, AJ, Destiny, everybody. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Oh my God, my throat's going. Oh. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Thank you, Miss Lou. Go ahead, brother.
I just want to highlight another angle of all this that I noticed firsthand, and that's why, of course, I'm going to pay attention to it. I might be the only Catholic on the stage right now, so of course I'm going to be a little sensitive, or at least notice this. There's a serious agenda and hatred towards the Catholic Church in these spaces, and I know it firsthand. And Candace, became Catholic, and that's another thing that they use against her. You'll notice that the rhetoric against JD Vance in those spaces. I mean, I'm not like, and again, I don't trust anyone in government. I'm not like simping for JD Vance by any means, but I know that they go after him simply because he's Catholic and he said some truths about the Israel situation. Now, is it true or not? I don't know. Is JD authentic? I don't know. I don't even know where this guy came from. So once again, it's not about that I'm like, oh, defending the guy. But my point is that you can see that there's a real hatred that's there. And I've seen it. I will defend one thing that Candace said about one of the accounts. She said she was a fake Catholic, and I know that person, and I've heard her. She's not a fake Catholic. She's very knowledgeable about the Catholic Church. I actually tried to reach out to her because I have the space where the minute she left the room, the truth about how they really felt about Catholics came out. And that's where I found out because, again, there were people in those spaces I considered to be friends. And I was disappointed because we were in mutual communities. And then I heard how they talked basically when they thought we weren't there, or I don't know what it was. But some of the worst Catholic bashing I've ever heard took place in that space. And that's why I'm just like, all right. And they continue. They have people there that are pushing conspiracies. Integralism is something they love to talk about as if Catholics are trying to take over the country and our political system, which is projection to the truth that the Christian Zionist movement is basically the little worker bees for the Israelis. And so they basically send them out, and that's it, it's insane. Like, so they're mixing political rhetoric with theology. It's manipulative. It's manipulative. And I just wanted to highlight that is an angle to all this. They will go and slander Catholics, and if you're a cat, it's funny. Tucker's an Anglican. He's not even Catholic, but I've heard them try to accuse him of being a Catholic. No, he's not. He's an Anglican. But that's the point. They want to use they attack Christians vilely. I'm sorry, violently. I don't know the right word there, but in a horrific manner. And then there's the Christians that are just standing there, that are just doing the work for them. Because I'll tell you, if they didn't have the 70 to 80 million Christian Zionists that are in our country, they would have no power. That is their power. It's not even the Israelis. It's not even the Jews. Everyone focuses on them for some reason. It's the Christian Zionists in our own country that push this propaganda that have been manipulated to believe that they have some strange allegiance to another country over their own because they think it's some biblical duty. And the reason why they fear establishments like the Catholic Church, but they're also meant the majority of Protestantism actually does not subscribe to Christian Zionism, but we're a bigger, more organized institution. We're a good target for them to focus on, is simply because we have the truth of explaining how there is no biblical reason. And that's dangerous. Again, truth is the problem. It's so anyway, I just wanted to highlight that that's another part of all this, and it's unfortunate. We can't hear you,
Did
Diligent. I don't know if
somebody?
you're talking.
Can you guys
Oh,
hear me?
I was like, did you just stop
Oh
talking?
yeah, don't add me any fucking group chats. I just saw that I was added to a group chat. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'll end up blocking you. Don't add me to no group chats. I think that's us as hell.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something really quickly. Actually, on that point exactly, is that I get added to them all the time, and I have to go through and
I
do
did
cleanups.
too.
The thing is that because you don't know what's being coordinated or said or whatever, like I never check my DMs, like it's rare because they get flooded, you know? I mean, it's just a lot of questions sometimes when you're hosting spaces and it's just crazy. So long story short is that you can be held accountable you know, for some of the stuff in there just the same way by people posting
I
who's
just
all
want you to
part of
hear the
it.
mentality, okay, of what we're talking about here, right? This is stealth. And Key, I'm glad you're up here because you're in this space, and I got a clip for you too. This is stealth talking about me and my space that I had with Baron Coleman 2 weeks ago.
I warned everybody's been in my spaces have heard me say this. I warned all these people what's coming for them way ahead. We gave them a long time to stop their bad behavior.
I warned all of these people what's coming for them. Does that sound like a threat?
Their bad behavior?
That sounds like a threat.
What?
Long time. Long time. And they didn't listen to what's coming.
What's coming?
0 hours dropping names.
Oh, 0 hours dropping names.
Can you post it up above?
Can you post that above? Dropping names? That sounds like doxing, doesn't it? I warned all of these people. Hold on, Lune. Hold on, Lune. I warned all of these people what's coming for them. Well, listen to the rest of it. It's very interesting how these people talk and how they think of us and
The New Testament this is happening because I was like, hold on, maybe now they will repent. They don't have to repent to me, but maybe now they will say I was wrong for the way that I went. And I actually posted that, right? Like 24 hours. If these people aren't apologizing publicly within 24 hours, that's my time limit. They're out. I'm not having anything to do with them. I'm not discussing them. They're completely cut out of existence as far as I'm concerned. And I'm telling you, I think everyone else should do it as well. I
should
think
do what?
Everyone else that
cut us
feels
out of
the way that
existence.
I did and still do with. I mean, what did they do to this woman?
Sounds like groupthink. Sounds like a cult. Sounds like
Hey,
coercion.
look, I put on a good show there. Look, I mean, I put on a good show. You gotta look. That was one of the better clips of me.
Yeah, but Key,
Diligent.
what exactly was Diligent talking about as far as like what
The Tyler
did he talk
Robinson
about with
case.
Barron? Right. What? How
And
did
that
any
wasn't.
of that have to pertain with stealth and mentioning that he's not behaving? Like what?
And that really wasn't, directed. I mean, Diligent because he's so popular, right? Like if you say his name, people pay attention to you. Obviously, that's why I say your name sometimes.
Mhm.
But when you actually,
That's weird.
He's being
no, I mean
sarcastic.
no, I'm actually being honest. So it was about Candace, and my point was when you get stuff wrong, right? Like and this isn't to you. This is just in general. If somebody gets
You were
something
listening
wrong,
to my
at some point
space.
you admit it.
Candace
I
wasn't.
do listen to your.
You were
space.
listening to my
Diligent space
space
now?
and stealth
Or
space.
his
Hold
name
on.
now?
Okay, let me get the context here. You were listening to me in my space talking to Baron Coleman, right? A couple of weeks ago about the Tyler Robinson case. We weren't talking about Israel. We weren't talking about stealth. We weren't talking about Key, right? We were literally just talking about Tyler Robinson and what I was investigating in Utah, right? And during that, you are calling. She's saying that bad things are going to happen to us. The people who are not buying the narrative, and you're over there calling for us to be canceled. This is the extreme mentality that I'm referencing when we're talking about the group chats, We're talking about the doxing, the quote unquote name dropping, all of these things, bro, trying to cancel people because they don't agree with you. That is how the woke mob behaves. I'm sorry, but it's true, right? That's exactly how the woke mob behaved that actually brought me to politics in the first place over trans ideology, right? That's what activated me. I'm like, oh, hell no. You ain't going to force me into capitulation with this shit. And now you guys are doing the same thing, calling people the woke Reich because they don't believe what you tell them to believe. That is how woke people act, right? They don't allow for discussion or dissent or differing opinions. Woke people demand that you believe their ideas or submit to their ideas, or you are canceled or destroyed. That is how woke people act. And I would argue that's the real woke Reich, right? Is the people on the right who are behaving in such a way, not the ones who are dissenting. Okay. Woke don't dissent. They all act in a group.
But look, in
And it
context,
does a
this was
horrible
about what
job.
was this
You
was
make it
about what
seem like
was
it's
wrong.
Israel. You guys make it seem like it's
Joe,
Israel. Do you
hold
understand?
on. Let me
The way
You
you
can
guys
let him
act?
respond, Joe. I played his clip.
Yeah, just real quick. Look, the thing that was happening that day, from what I remember, is that was when Candace. This is specific to Candace, and it was specific to the video that they had released at the
Lies.
trial. Okay, yeah, I know.
Let's
Congratulations.
not interrupt
So,
him. Let him talk. Let him talk.
Yeah, let him finish.
so they had released that clip, and everybody was saying that it was clearly Tyler Robinson on the roof, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That was when Candace Owens, that's what I was referring to. If you listened earlier on in that conversation, the idea that when you get something wrong, you don't then say you were wrong. That's not on me. That's on you or on her or on anyone else. When you get something wrong and you don't take responsibility for it, that's just the way that the world works. That's the energy, karma, whatever you want to call it. That's going to come back on people, and that's
The
what the
4K
conversation was
video
about.
is why you were doing that, because of where is that 4K video, Key? Did we see that 4K video? Where is that? It's been a few weeks now.
Well, we seen, and it was. That's what I'm saying. Like there
You
is
saw,
difference
have
in
you,
of opinion.
Come on, bro.
No,
have
there's
you
difference
seen?
there.
Have you seen a 4K video of Tyler Robinson taking out Kirk, like as we were told?
Apparently, that's not been released yet. That's
No,
what
he hasn't seen it. So, Key, you're saying that the reason why Stealth said that Diligent isn't behaving is
My
because
bad
of what
behavior.
exactly?
She tried to warn me about
and
my
I
bad
don't do
behavior.
these. I don't do these like the doxing and all that other stuff. Look,
Yeah, but you're not answering my question. You came up here for some
I
reason,
don't
I
just in
guess,
general
to.
don't listen to women in general because I feel
Okay,
like they
now
degrade conversations most of the
you're not
time. But
making
what
any
I'm
sense,
saying,
Key.
You
You
were
just came
calling
up
for
here to
me to be
defend the
canceled.
space.
You were calling for me to be canceled.
no. I look. First of
You're
all, I
just not
subscribe
answering.
to
See,
you.
look,
All
real
right,
quick.
I'm a
You're walking around
subscriber.
That's
every
because you're
question
a
that I'm
spy. You
asking.
don't subscribe because you
Faithful
support me.
subscriber.
Exactly.
You want
I
access
have
to my
subscribed to you,
subscribers
and
bases.
Key, you came
come
up
on.
here to
I've
defend the
subscribed to you in the
space,
past
except for
too.
anything that I ask, you are not answering. You are talking
All right,
around.
I'll give you a question. Go ahead. What question? What do you want?
What I asked is, she made a comment stating that they know this is what's going to happen when they misbehave. What kind of comment is that? Right
Yeah,
to
that's what I was
Diligent.
saying about yeah, you got to look, you got to play it back a little bit further. That's in context. That's like religious stuff. I don't even ascribe to
Are
all of that
you?
sort of stuff. That's like I say
Do you hear what
karma,
you're
but
saying?
yeah, that's you have to
So
play it back before where Diligent started from, and the conversation was it's a very religious thing. I don't know if you've ever
why,
been in her
if Diligent
spaces,
didn't
but
mention
they're
anything about
religious.
Stealth, is Stealth saying that he was not behaving, Key?
It wasn't just
That's what
that.
I'm
She
saying.
said that I was going to be punished for my bad behavior.
Exactly.
Why won't you condemn that, Key?
Well, because I mean, if look,
because he agrees with
a,
it.
This is my
it's a
Mossad
show.
agent.
It's
Okay,
a
this is my
show.
Mossad
That's what I'm
agent.
saying. This is all a
It's
joke.
a show.
This is
All of
not a
this is a
joke.
joke.
When people getting doxxed is not a joke.
Everything on the
people
internet is
losing
a
their
joke.
jobs is not a
Diligent,
joke.
do you
I
hear
don't
this?
do the doxing stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like
But
that's going way too far.
hang your hat with people who do, Key.
He's sent here
I'm
to
just
defend
learning of
them, and
that
this is how
now.
he's defending
You
them
can
by
that
like
whole.
basically
I'm
No,
gonna
I'm
saying
just learning of this
that
now.
that,
The
that you were
doxing
in the
stuff.
fucking
you were in the
space,
space.
bro.
He showed you
And they
clips
doxed
speaking.
you? That's what
Not.
I'm saying.
I
I don't when they
mean,
say
there
I
have been
posted something up in the
spaces.
nest, I don't go and
There
look at
have
it.
been
Most of the time
spaces
I'm
you were
not.
in that I was. They were attempted to dox me. I think they figured out since then they had the wrong guy. Took them a long time, but it doesn't matter. The point is that you are aligned with this. And I'm not saying right. I'm not saying that being in a space makes you automatically like guilty, right? I'm not saying
But
that.
coming to this space shows that he was actually here to either listen in or defend.
He listens to my spaces all the time.
Yeah, I'm actually a fan. This is the one subject recently that I just don't agree with you on, but I mean, there's a lot
you
that
didn't
I've
agree with me on
agreed with you
Epstein
on.
either.
No, I did, and you actually went down that rabbit hole in the what was it, that big farm that they had, and then that kind of died out. Nobody ever found out what happened to all those bodies, but we did actually. I feel like we did have good conversations about that.
Well, they did construction, right?
What I couldn't hear it. What
they did construction as soon as we started demanding access.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
The
saying,
Fed
and
blocked them from taking any action.
I'm just, I'm just saying, like, I am not on these spaces for any other reason than to have fun. That's it. I'm literally an eagle with a MAGA hat on, right? Like, I'm an American. I know Diligent's an American. You can tell. You can literally tell when people are Americans, born, bred, thorough Americans on this application period compared to foreigners. It's not hard to figure out who's who.
Anybody who
right?
shills for
But
the
if
cover
you
up of
value
Epstein is
that
not an
so much,
American.
hold on, but you value that so much, yet you keep with a clique
Let's
that is
not
all about a
dogpile
different
him.
country.
I don't want to
No,
Hey,
dogpile.
I
I
subscribe to you too, Maze. I don't have a lot of money though, Maze. All right, but I'm coming back to you too. I'm gonna throw you a subscription soon. Come on, I'm
no, I'm not
poor. I'm
worried
not
about
making
that.
money on here.
Listen, I'm not worried about that. I actually care more about, the direction our country's going and what's compromising it. And I think that, who you surround yourself with speaks volumes about that. Like I know that you
I'm
also,
not going to hate on you for hanging out with
no,
those people.
no. It's not about that. But while they're actively condemning what you're doing and then saying that we're going to get what's coming to us and they told us to behave, I do think that
What do
is
you think
stepping
she
out of
meant by
line.
that, Key? She says that I'm going to get what's coming to me because of my bad behavior. And then immediately following, you say that you're going to disregard people who are dissenting like I am, and that you think they should as well. What do you think that she meant by, I try to warn them? What do you think it is coming? What's coming for us? Those on the right
That's what
who
I was
dissent.
saying. That's what I was saying. The whole idea from that conversation. This is where it gets like religious, right? Like I say, karma. You could say it's karma. If you're putting negative things out, bad things out there, then they're going to come back to you. That's kind of what that context was of that conversation. Now, I'm not going to say that that's something that's going to happen to you. I've heard you say 1,000 things that are right. I'm no better than any other person out there. And when I heard her say it like that, I also kind of was, this isn't really. That's not the proper sort of language, right? It does kind of sound a little bit of threat. It does sound a little threatening, right? But it's also, I'm just saying, it's also this is not reality on these spaces. I don't know why people take any of this stuff that seriously. None of this is real.
If none of this is real,
matters.
Wait, hold on.
Did we stop the war?
Everybody,
Did we find out what's
They
happening?
spliced my voice and sent it to the FBI. What do you mean it's not real?
If none of this matters, if none of this is real, then why is there such a vested interest in an expensive effort to utilize these platforms to convince people of things?
It's distraction.
It's a
That's
distraction.
exactly what this is, distraction. So you don't pay attention to what you should, which is none of this shit, because it doesn't matter to you.
If it's not important, then how come when people have opposite opinions, then they're doxxed? Just for
No,
having a
that's why I said
difference of opinion.
that's where the limits are for me. And I think Joe was just saying that someone clipped him and sent him to the FBI. Look, if people think that there's some super investigator and they're going to send stuff off to the FBI, whatever. I mean, that's if they're lying to the FBI or something like that, then that's on them. I can't
My
help them,
point
right?
is your statement doesn't make any sense because actually the things we're talking about
Well,
is
you're
enough
a
to drive
woman,
another
so I wouldn't
person.
expect you to
Just well,
understand
stop
what I'm saying.
speaking, okay? It's enough
Yes,
to
yes,
drive
ma'am.
another
Yes, ma'am.
person to dox you. So yes, we whatever we're talking about is pissing people off enough to want to dox a person that's having an opinion. Okay? Incel.
Hold on,
Yeah,
if I can
so
ask Key something.
Did you just
Key,
call
because
him an
you and I,
incel? That's not
He's
hold
that's
on.
not
acting
Hey,
nice.
hold
very
on, Renee, please.
she's a
incel-y
beautiful
here.
woman, though, so I'll accept it from her.
If I
So
if I can have a quick just
I just want everybody because everybody can see that I'm not lying or anything. This post is actually on my timeline. If you search search the word threat, the entire space is added as a reply, and there's numerous times where they talk like this. It's not just once. It's on and off throughout the entire space, right? That they're speaking like this. This is extremist rhetoric, right? I'm not in spaces making these kind of threats towards Zionists, right? I'm not demanding that Zionists be canceled. I don't make those kind of claims. I don't make those demands or those insinuations. It's not implied, right? I don't say that they're going to get what's coming to them, right? This is the difference. This is what I'm saying. Like, people are accusing people of being paid ops, foreign ops. Stealth is that. She's literally an Israeli operative in spaces making threats at people who don't agree with her. This is not conjecture. This is not me lying. This is on the time. I'm going to repost it. As a matter of fact, I'll put it in the Jumbotron. Okay. This is not,
Dylan, let me ask you something.
hold on. I want to finish. This is extremist ideology. I don't care if these people were arguing for Muslims, if they were arguing for Christians, if they were arguing for Hindus, or if they were arguing for Jews. I don't care. This kind of rhetoric is extremism, dude. This is extremism. And just because they're from our quote unquote greatest ally, we should not allow it to flourish unchallenged, unchecked, right? Especially against Americans. You're talking about foreign operatives building dossiers on Americans who disagree with them and then trying to terrorize those people into capitulation out in the broad daylight, out in the open. She's saying it out loud. She's not hiding it. This isn't a private conversation.
Everybody's been in my spaces have heard me say this. I warned all these people what's coming for them. Way ahead. We gave them a long time to stop their bad behavior. Long time. Long time.
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
didn't
she's not
listen.
talking
It's
divine
coming.
judgment. She said
Yeah,
we
she's not
gave them.
talking about
We
divine
gave them
judgment.
time.
It was not.
Is he?
Yeah, it wasn't about that.
Can you post it up above?
An hour ago, he posted, "This is the
Direct.
lady who edits Real Candace Owens podcast, Camilla
They're
Chupka."
literally
Yeah.
I'm
talking
just
about doxing.
Hold on.
Hold on. In this clip, okay? I just want you to listen.
Yep.
They're
I already saw
literally
you about
talking
them.
about doxing Candace Owens' producer during this clip. Okay? In this clip, listen to the whole thing. She's telling people they're going to get what's coming to them, and they're literally
working with Laura
hold
Loomer.
on, please mute. They're literally sharing Candace Owens' producers' information in their space in the Jumbotron during the same clip. Okay, I want you to listen to the whole thing. Nobody talk over it.
Everybody's been in my spaces have heard me say this. I warned all these people what's coming for them. Way ahead. We gave them a long time to stop their bad behavior. Long time. Long time. And they didn't listen.
Uh-oh.
What's coming.
0 hours dropping names.
Is he? Can you post it up above?
An hour ago, he posted, "This is the lady who edits Real Candace Owens podcast, Camilla Chupka."
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just
H1B
asking
visa.
questions. It's time.
Yeah.
The only thing they have is.
You sound desperate right now.
Yeah, I don't like him.
I warned
So that is them doxing her producer, right? Working with 0 Hour, the same guy I said that I blocked her over, who was trying to dox me, right? And using her space to share that information to the masses. This is not the behavior of good people. This is not the behavior of Americans, right? This is not the behavior of conservatives. This is the behavior of woke people, right? People
But
who
it wasn't
cannot
me
allow
though, right?
dissent.
It wasn't
You were
me doing
sitting
it,
right
right?
there cheering it on alongside them.
Yeah. Did you
I'm
condemn it
allowed
in
to
the
do that
space?
as an
Did you
American. I'm
condemn
allowed to
that
cheer
And I
that
am
behavior
on.
or not?
allowed to call you out for it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You
But
were there cheering for that shit, dude.
I also don't know what the 0 Hour situation is, because it seems like there's a lot of doxing going on when it comes to that guy. So I don't agree with that. I don't think that if you don't have your
Kiva,
name out there, you shouldn't have somebody trying to figure out who you are and putting your name out there, or getting to people's addresses and all. That's way out of my
Why
scope.
would
But
they do
just
that?
because I'm
yeah.
saying just because I'm hanging out with those people though, it doesn't mean, look, and I've made a lot of
Why
bad
don't you
decisions in
condemn
my
it in the
life.
space then?
So
Why don't you call it out?
Because he
no,
If
doesn't
you're
want
not
I
Sal,
am.
I
I'm
can tell
self,
you
saying I'm
why.
not
then
a,
why
I can
don't
tell
you
you
call it
why.
out in the space?
Because he
I don't
doesn't
think
want it
that's
to
good.
happen to him. As soon as he dissented, they would do the same shit to him. That is what they do to anybody who disagrees. You can't do that, or they will attack you.
And that's true, Key. You go into these spaces. We all go into these spaces. Everyone on this panel is a veteran of speaking in spaces. You and I have had many conversations, or I've heard you speak, or you've heard me speak. I think it's disingenuous to say that it's all just entertainment. It's all just the internet. Diligent goes boots on the ground. He puts his resources into it. He risks his life in a way to go out there, because it's dangerous sometimes to be out there as a journalist looking for the truth. Now, on the other hand, Stealth in her spaces, she brings in people that are real connected people in governments, both the Israeli government and both the American government. These aren't just little players that go into her space that she brings in there. That's why you and others go into that space, because she does get quality content with high profile people. This is not a game. This is not just some game, man. And I
Oh,
know that you're a
okay.
seeker of truth, because you go into other spaces that we all agree on are free speech spaces, so we can have a nice little battle of ideas. And yeah, sometimes we use humor, and I get that. But bro, you're not just some dummy. You're an intelligent person. You can be funny when you want to, and you can be charismatic when you want to be. But don't come in here and tell us that this is just all fake and gay when it's very real and it's high stakes.
No, the narratives are definitely fake and gay. The people are real, but the narratives are fake and gay. Most of this stuff you can't do anything about. Doesn't matter how much you talk about it. Diligent actually, I think, does have an impact, right? He has a big following, and he actually he does get out there, boots on the ground. I appreciate what Diligent does. Just this topic here that happens to be the one right now that's being covered, Charlie Kirk. I don't agree with him on those sort of things, right? But that doesn't mean that
Does that
there's
mean that
something
I
else
should
going
be?
on.
Does that mean that I
No,
should be doxxed?
no, that's what I'm saying. And I remember when they tried to dox you long time ago, before the Epstein stuff even started, and I was subscribing to you and coming into your spaces and stuff, and they were sharing essentially the same stuff that was being repeated over and over again. And I remember, even I think I DM'd you, might be able to look it up. I think I DM'd it to you and was like, hey, this is going on about you. And I'll shoot people DMs, and I'll tell them stuff. Like, if I find somebody saying something crazy about Coyote, I will tell them. I'll be like, hey, like this just so you know.
Have you ever
I
received
don't
that
know what
DM?
means anything. I don't know if it means anything or if it's going to make any difference. But I do
Coyote.
feel like sometimes there is a responsibility of people to be like, hey, like there's something crazy going on over here. That had your name in it, right? But there is a certain element of entertainment in here, right? Not, I don't.
Hey,
Maybe you
Keith, can
don't
I
think your
ask you
space is,
something?
but
Keith, you've been around for a while, right? And there's been many conspiracies, there's been right versus left, many things. And many times there's a group that tries to shut down another group and act coordinated and everything else during COVID, during election, whatever it may be. And typically what happens, right? The people that try to shut it down somehow are guilty. Doesn't that make you think? Like, no one up here is trying to shut down her conversation. Not a single person. None of us are organizing. None of us are doxing their people. None of that, right? You haven't learned enough since you've been on this platform that people who coordinate typically somehow there's something to it. Honest
Yeah, yeah.
question, Key.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you, but like I said, I'm not responsible for what other people do. I believe that people should do whatever it is that they feel they should do, but at the end of the day, I'm not responsible for you. You're an adult. You do your own thing. You're gonna make your bed and then you're gonna lay in it, right? And
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I
I'm
think
not
a lot of
saying
people
that.
are
I'm just saying,
forgetting.
doesn't that give you reason to pause and think like, why is this happening? And maybe I should look at this again instead of.
I mean, I did
me-
look the spaces that I've been in, and I don't know how many spaces you guys like, cruise through, but the spaces that I've been in, if you think that stealth space was bad, then you haven't even enjoyed the most of X, right? Like you have no comprehension what's going on this platform. Then you are in a bubble. You are already contained in a bubble because it gets much better. If you think that that's threats, then you just haven't even cruised into the spaces that are out there. And I'll tell you right now, there are a lot of people that say really stupid shit and then they get in trouble for it, right? Because there's certain stupid shit you can't say, and all
Not the
spaces are
Zionists. They
recorded.
don't get in any
All
trouble. They're
so
allowed to speak with impunity.
let me clear this up for you guys, just so everybody understands. All spaces are recorded. They're required to by law. And if you think that they're not recorded and kept and that you're not identifiable by your voice, then you're not in reality. So like I said, these discussions we're having are irrelevant. That's why we're having them. Once you start to have discussions that are relevant, your shit will not work no more. Your account will get suspended. That's what happens. There is no difference. This is Twitter. It's not X. There's no difference. There is no difference. This is Twitter. It's not X. There's no difference here. So
Hey, let me say
that's
something,
my
Keith, on
opinion
this.
on what's going on here because I don't.
I've known you a minute or whatever, bro. I got you on the subject brings a different kind of zest. You said probably driving the maze crazy a little bit too, but bro, we've sat down and I've looked into the Talmudic shit. We went to even look at the Muslim shit or whatever together. You've seen me go into some of these crazy fucking and get kicked straight out, bro. That's what I'm saying. I'd like to ask, like, are we at like the point in America to where it's like we have to point these things that aren't that's not correct out, like, are just not kind of go around them. I've started kind of disassociating, kind of moving away to things like the tribalism and whatnot, because it's not good. It's not doing anything. Whenever we continue, it fuels it. It adds on to it, and it puts my stamp of approval. Because you are smart, the psychological shit too, or whatever. But that's the thing. It's like, when do we separate, this tribalism shit whenever ever they're doing at fault? Away from like the people that we may not agree with all the time or whatever, but they're not fucking doxing people. That's what I'm saying. This
Well,
is not good.
yeah. Yeah, obviously there's a lot of negative stuff that shouldn't be going on, but my point, look, I'm gonna leave it with this. My point is that if you think that these platforms are not used for collection on people, then I don't think you guys have really understood what happens or why they even exist or who created
What's
them,
the
where the
point?
internet
What's the
phones
point?
come
That
from.
is,
Yeah, so
Because
you're
if you're out
basically
here and you're
saying that
saying
doxing
words
is okay.
on the internet and you think people aren't monitoring you, recording you, and capturing you, and you think that you're secreting away because you're in an important group, it's not happening,
Who claimed
right?
any of
Like,
that?
no,
No one
I'm just saying in general. In general, your standard should be to approach this stuff as it is, and it's just a joke. That's all.
it's
All of
not a
this is a
joke.
joke.
It's not a
It's
joke.
not a joke.
Look,
When people
it's
threaten
I
someone,
He's not
understand the
really
doxing
saying
part
any
is not a
doxing
joke, but
them.
I'm saying like
It's
these
real life.
he's saying
narratives, these
words.
You
conversations,
can't
they're
No,
not
control real
important.
life.
that is a way for you to deflect and abdicate responsibility from yourself by saying,
Well,
"Oh, it's a
how
joke.
about you talk
It's a
about
joke."
how about you talk about an important topic then? I've been
You
begging
are
This is
people
not
to
the
talk
important.
about an
arbiter
important
of
topic.
what's important,
Like
Key.
what? Epstein? You guys don't want to talk about that. You don't want to talk about the treasonous foreign war for
Yeah, you're not
Israel.
the arbiter of what's important, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything to
Well, how
you
about
is
I'm
divide
done.
and
important,
conquer? How
not
about
to
divide and
us.
conquer?
Everybody,
Yeah.
mute up.
Okay.
Um, you're not the arbiter of what's important, but I think
Yeah,
that you're
but
deflecting.
you are though, right?
You're deflecting from responsibility. Well, I report on what I think is important, and people either choose to listen to me or not. And I guess if a lot of people are listening, they must think that to some extent it's important to them as well, right? I'm not
You
the
never
one that
asked
decides
why
that.
you get so many views. You never asked yourself why your conversations get traction, but someone else's doesn't. You never asked that. Never thought to yourself, why is it that Diligent is getting traction? Why is Candace getting traction? Why is Stealth getting traction?
Because they're appealing. Because we're appealing to something that resonates with people who are
appealing
listening.
to the distraction is what you're doing, because the networks are captured.
No, because they have
by
an organic
China.
audience and nobody wants to hear that Israel first
Hold
bullshit.
on. We're not gonna. You're not gonna. You are sidetracking the conversation. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about.
It was released.
We're talking about this foreign-based operation. You are aligning yourselves with people who are beholden to a foreign country as they terrorize U.S. citizens who do not agree with them. That is a fact. You just listen to yourself do it. I just played a clip to you of them doing it in a space that you were in, right? And you don't want to acknowledge that or address it. You would rather call everything a distraction and tell me that it's not real, even though people are losing their jobs, people are, scared, people are, sometimes people do crazy things, right? Like that's the premise of the conversation here, not whether or not these spaces are a distraction.
Hey, Diligent, didn't you have Thomas Massey come into your space? I mean, you act like we don't get members of our Congress to come into some of these spaces to have conversations with the people. I mean, I don't understand why you you're trying to display, push it all off like it's all meaningless. It's all joking games. We all know that they're watching us.
Because
We know
he's
they're surveilling
deflecting.
us. We
No,
know that
because
we're being surveilled.
if you talk about a topic that matters, you get shut down. That's how it works.
What do you think? Why they've been coming at me hard? I've been getting throttled. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm in here. That's what I'm saying. I'm in here, Diligent. I wanted to find out what was going on, and I respect you, and I think that you should keep doing what you're doing, even when I don't agree with you, because I think this is part of the discourse of being an American.
Doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. I've never said, "Hey, Diligent, do what I want you to do."
Key, you just did
That's not what
that,
I do.
actually.
But I do.
You changed the subject of what we were talking about because you didn't think it was important and tried to stop him from talking about. You're doing exactly what you just said they do to important topics. To this space.
Is this Luné again? Look, maybe it sounds like that's what happened, but that's not what happened. Okay, sweetie.
You've been doing that this entire time. You said,
No, I
let's talk about
haven't.
something that's actually important because I don't think this topic is important and spaces aren't important. That's what you did.
No, I mean
single-handedly just gave an example of what you just proved that they do to topics that are important.
Real quick,
So can we talk about me more? All right, yes.
Wait,
Let's go,
Key.
brother.
Let me ask you something real quick. You mean to tell me that the Charlie Kirk assassination that everyone says is the most significant assassination since JFK is not an important topic?
Yeah, who did it benefit? Like so there's investigative process, right? Like who did it benefit would be like what an intelligence person. No, who did it benefit?
It benefits the truth, Key. Because we don't have
who
faith.
did the assassination benefit? Who? By Charlie Kirk not being here anymore, who benefits from him not being
Israel and the Donald Trump administration wants to go to war for Israel and Iran. It's very simple.
I think there's an answer of we're
China
trying to figure that out.
Since they don't care about your God or the Muslim God or any
That's
of these
the
other
dumbest
gods.
thing I've ever heard. China has to do with Charlie Kirk's assassination. Are you kidding me?
Yes, China runs the narratives in the networks. They captured
nobody's
all of the networks.
Nobody's falling
for
for this
debate.
China bullshit, dude. Like we know China didn't
And
rig
now
the
you know
election.
who Godfrey
we know
is.
China doesn't
We're
run
point everybody out to.
Now you know.
Hey, do you see that, Godfrey? I think he just tried to get you to.
Let's go to Destiny. Destiny's got her hand up. Let's go to Destiny.
I just wanted to ask a question because I don't know the name of the speaker. He said that these are all distractions from, that this. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, that's my executive down there, Lene.
A nice
I'm
assistant.
up here, yeah.
I just wanted to say a distraction from what? Like, what is the distraction? Like to make there's a claim there's a distraction. These things are distractions from what? Is my question.
More important things.
Like I'm hoping you could be specific. Like what?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It depends. Like, so I was asking Diligent. I'm not trying to insult Diligent, but why would this traction on these topics have taken off? Like the Charlie Kirk assassination. There's a resonance, right? People want to know about it and they want to have it. But what we do know from monitoring network traffic is we know that foreign governments have been boosting the narratives. It's not up for debate. Like this is just basic analytics on network.
It has, but our own government has equally been doing it to our own people. That's also true.
Yeah, Yeah, I would agree with you that I think that there's a lot of pushing of these different narratives to distract people from what is actually important, which is that there's massive buildup for what could turn into a massive war, and things are not stable in the world. The economy's not real good, energy's not going so well. Things really aren't that good, but they don't want the public to freak out and understand how
That's
bad
probably
things
because we're
are.
at war with Iran and they closed the Strait of Hormuz.
It
Do you
Guys,
not
look,
think we're
see,
talking about those
that's what I'm
things
saying.
and how it's
That's what
connected?
I'm saying. There's a lot of stuff going on, but why are we in a war in the Strait of Hormuz? Is it just about Israel? That's it. It's about Israel.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's
I
not
don't
about
think it's just
China.
about
It's
Israel,
not
but
about
it's
their
the
need for
main portion.
expansion. It's not about their need for expansion and having billions of people.
You've subverted the conversation
Can't talk about
enough.
China.
You've
All
subverted
right,
the
no, we won't talk
conversation
about
enough.
China.
Yeah, he's trying to discredit my space. Thanks for that, Key. Go ahead,
And Diligent,
Godfrey.
actually, that's your number one. That is his number one bad guy is China.
Yeah,
They're the only risk we
Diligent-
have is China.
Diligent is my
The
number
only
one. China, Israel has far more infiltration into our core systems than any other foreign country. I don't want any foreign country.
No, they don't.
I
You
see
just
any
look at the
foreign
report
country,
today.
Any foreign country, Unit 8200 is embedded. There's thousands of them in our key infrastructure. I'm not arguing about this. I've done whole spaces and live streams on it. This is irrefutable.
So you know more than
this
the China
is
Select
publicly
Committee.
available information. They posted on their LinkedIn's, right? I also know that we are on the verge of, at the core infrastructure level of integrating Israeli origin technology into our core infrastructure. Our government isn't even allowed to have Chinese apps on their phone, right? There is a Trojan horse, and its name is Israel. And because of our Congress and our other government's affinity for this foreign country, they are allowing them a free pass to infiltrate our core infrastructure, and I'm not okay with any country doing that. Israel, China, Korea, or any other country for that matter, and I'm not cool with it. It's not good. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's good just because you want me to focus on China. I don't want China or Israel doing it. That's my point. Let's go to Godfrey. Go ahead.
Thank you, Diligent. I just wanted to address something that Key brought up, which is really unfortunate. In that he's saying that we're focusing on things that aren't important. What do you mean? We've done spaces on Section 219, which is a treasonous takeover of our military from a foreign nation's military, merging our biotech, merging our automated technology, merging our drone systems. That is of the gravest importance. We've talked about Epstein, the cover up of Epstein. If Trump can't arrest Epstein clients, his whole deep state facade is taken down. And if he can't arrest Epstein clients, it begs the question, what is his involvement with Epstein, which is the rabbit holes that we went down on many spaces. And that is very important because it gets to the heart of the matter of who controls this country and what means they use, i.e. blackmail. We've run spaces about World War III, what the agenda is in Iran. So how are we not talking about things that aren't important? That is offensive for you to say. And what do you think is important?
Because if
we're
you were
talking about
important,
these
then there
things,
would be active measures against you, and there's not. That's why you're on spaces. That's why your account's not suspended. That's why your paychecks keep coming in. That's why your stuff's not getting. I'm just saying, real active measures against you.
Israeli operatives doxing you.
I'm not
That's
saying
not
it. I'm
active
not
measures.
saying.
Sounds like active measures.
so are you saying? So you're saying the subject matter is important, but
I'm not attributing
we don't matter,
it.
is what basically
I'm just
what
saying
you're
I'm not attributing it to any specific group, right? I'm just saying in general, if you are actually, causing any problem for any of these intelligence, whether it be Israel, whether it be the CIA, it doesn't matter who it is. If you're causing problems for them,
evidence to support that claim?
do I have evidence to support that if you do something, against an intelligence agency, that they're going to come after you? Like,
Why
that
would
you
our
want
allies
you
come
want
after us?
evidence
Look like?
for that?
What do you mean by that? What does that look like? Can
That's
you give me an
what I'm
example?
saying. It doesn't look like somebody online running their mouth about you. That's not what it looks like. That's what it looks like in television or in entertainment.
Are you saying that they only operate in one way? They don't have information operations. They don't have varying levels of deterrence, right? You're saying that either they take you out or they don't. That's the only way they operate? Is that your position?
Yeah, my position is that like if you get on their bad side, right? Like why would
Don't
they
you think
do
that there's
all this?
probably varying degrees of getting on somebody's bad side?
The call list, like
No,
the Rise app,
no.
they fucking send the
They're
shit in, then they mass
I'm
report. We get that all the time.
I'm just saying, like these people kill people all over the planet, right? Like
Who's
they're
these
not just
people?
us,
Mhm.
not just us, right? Not just the CIA, not just the Mossad,
Who's
not
these
just
people?
the intelligence agencies from all over the world. There's 52 very specific ones with names and people that travel all over the world and kill people for nation state interests. That's a reality that your government's not going to tell you. They're going to tuck you in at night and be like, "Go to bed. Don't listen. Don't listen to this." Right?
Are
Because
you not American?
they want you to feel okay. I'm not worried about the CIA taking me out. Why? Because I'm an American. That's not what they do. Right? So I
That's
don't freak out about the CIA and panic and say that the CIA is coming after me.
Key,
I'm not that guy. I'm just not that
that's
Key,
guy.
You push the
really
didn't
most
it bug
shill
you?
key.
narratives.
Wait, didn't it
Now,
bug
maybe
you?
the Mossad might. They might be like, "Hey, this guy, he crossed the line here,"
No,
and
they would
It,
give
maybe the
you the
Mossad
medal
would.
of freedom, I think.
I mean, it wasn't a secret when Bibi Netanyahu got together literally with a group of so-called influencers and said that they were going to finance a campaign to spread their influence in our social media over here. He said social media is like, if I don't remember the quote, but it was like the war of the future, or that's where the war is. That's what he said. I mean, what do you mean? They want to come out here and influence
But he's not the
Americans.
only player. That's what I'm saying.
I know
We're
he's
always
not the
talking
only
about a few
player,
players on the field, but there's a
but
lot of people playing this game, and
but
it's
Key,
not
Except for
going
the
easy
only
for a
one,
lot of
the only
countries. It's not
one
going
that
Key, our
easy.
has
message
Kind
has
of sounding
been
away.
the only one that has seemingly unfettered access to our infrastructure is Israel.
China,
Israel
China.
and China.
I'm serious. It's
But
China.
Didn't
people,
Israel sell some of our secrets
China
to
is
the
How many
Chinese in the
dominating
senators
the
do we
past?
world
have?
Of
right
course they
now.
did.
we treat China like an adversary, right? That's the difference. We
Get
acknowledge
your
that
fish
China's an
while you can.
adversary.
But I know that pisses Maze off. Hey,
Is
Key, I
that a
got to ask while
threat?
you're up here. So the Donald Trump tweet where he's R.I.P. Shlomo Pearl, was that a little weird, or no? Did you find it weird?
I don't even pay attention to most of this stuff, to be honest with you. Rest in peace, Shlomo. I don't even know what does Shlomo mean. I'm not actually Jewish,
Useful
just because I
idiot.
put
We're
a
gonna
hat
reel
on.
this back into the current conversation, which is and thank you for YouTube for reminding me, because he's derailing the space, right? The problem is that we don't have a Chinese group chat that is targeting Americans that just got exposed this morning, right?
YouTube is Chinese.
But
Those are all Chinese
this is
people in
on
your
X.
YouTube chat.
Please don't talk over me. Please don't interrupt me. We have an Israeli Zionist controlled or owned group chat that is targeting Americans for doxing, for threatening, for background checks, getting their addresses and sharing their addresses and intimidating people and piling on, right? That's not a Chinese group chat. Are you saying that Stealth is a member of the CCP, Key? Is that your position?
That's actually possible. That's possible. Hey, I would entertain that
you are
before
going to get
Mossad. I
barbecued
would.
when you go back
Are
to
you
her
serious?
space.
No, I would entertain that before
Stealth,
Mossad.
I believe, you can roast him. He deserves it. Whenever, I'm sure you're gonna be playing this clip at some point or listening to it. I would be roasting him as well. I'm sure he's gonna say, "Well, I had to play to the crowd or whatever." Right. The fact of the matter is that it's a Zionist group chat that is doxing people, right, and intimidating people and trying to get them to lose their jobs and get them and intimidate them to silence. This isn't a Chinese operation. This wasn't a Chinese individual who just shared Candace Owens' podcaster's name or her producer's name.
Then why has he got chopsticks in his profile picture?
Who? Stealth.
He's got chopsticks. That has to be. Look, you're sleeping on China. I'm just telling you guys, you're sleeping.
Mm-hmm. $7,000, Key. $7,000. Let's go to RNL. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks for having me. Awesome space. Guys, what I'm hearing as a listener is someone rage baiting the space with a super loud mic, and then we're falling for it. And I think he's distracting us from.
I've already called that out. You just if you want to talk to the point, because you're feeding into it.
Copy.
I don't do echo chambers. I want somebody to come up here and dissent. It's fine. I don't. It's boring otherwise. But
I understand that. But having
do you want to speak to the broader conversation about what we saw this morning with Candace Owens and the group chat and the attacks, the organized attacks against people who are dissenting in Charlie Kirk, or even Israel's, initiative in having a group chat that behaves in such a way?
I think you're right to call it out, and I think you should continue. Yeah, that's it.
Have you experienced any of these tactics?
I've seen a uptick on like what appears to be bot accounts that are posting from South Asia, from all sorts of like other countries, all the time. That started happening a lot in the last 3 to 4 weeks. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but that's
Oh yeah, it's been crazy the last pretty much since Tyler Robinson's preliminary hearing. It's like been an act. I don't know how else to describe it except for as like an activation.
I will tell you how else. The algo was changing around that time, and maybe today I heard that some of the people who were deciding on features and algos and censorship have resigned from their position on X. But I think around the time where the algo changed, these bot accounts started really popping up.
Nikita Beers, that was a Chinaman, right?
I don't know about all that. I also think that around that time, Grok also got nerfed quite significantly.
Oh yeah, 100%.
3 weeks ago, and I think that's something that's concerning. It's important.
It felt like woven, right? From Wuhan vid. That's what it feels like. The algo to me
feels like guardrails that are biased.
Yeah,
Grok's told me it's biased. Straight up.
But I mean,
it wasn't like that.
I mean, as somebody who regularly goes viral, I'm not trying to brag or anything. I'm just saying, like, I have a pretty good inclination for like how my content performs, and I can watch it, and because there's real time, you can do it now. And some of the things they did change with the analytics. Shout out to Zach. You know who you are.
Also,
hold on. Let me finish. Please don't interrupt me.
Yeah.
The real time analytics, you can watch your posts and see how they're performing in real time. You'll watch the engagement grow. You'll watch the numbers grow, the likes, the views, etc. And after time, you get a real good feel on how a post is going to perform based on those initial metrics, right? And when you're being suppressed, you can tell there is a very inconsistent drop in the initial metrics that you would normally see. And when that happens consistently over time, regardless of the content, it does speak to like a form of suppression. I can tell you this much. My account got throttled over Epstein, and then it got throttled over Fort Huachuca, and then it got throttled over Panguitch like crazy. And all of those like accounts that I had never, like, you have Viva La Fray and all of these other like FedSlop, Zionist aligned accounts that are all coordinating attacks on you at the same time. They're operating with the same kind of strategic measures that we saw with this group chat, right? Like, which is like it's a systemic approach to try to control the narrative from an algorithmic standpoint all the way up to
the deep state.
Up to I've got Zionists telling me that I'm Jew hating right now. What is going on? What is going on? Chill
Crazy,
out,
bro. He hasn't even said anything Jewish. Don't worry about it, bro. This shit's getting off. But I would say on that diligent, and I think honestly, it's the Zionist. It's like the talking points is deep state, bro. Like that shit right there. He hasn't said anything hateful. All that's doing when they do that, that's fueling anti-Semitism. That's the shit that's actually fueling all this stuff going around there, and that's proven. You can't just start like doing that shit. It's getting old too. I just get tired of hearing it. But I would like to say on it, because I know we were talking about like the group coordinator event. I went in there, Key. All right, so everything popped off when they had some news of something going on, some geopolitical. I went in there. I asked about the red heifer. I get kicked out after fucking 5 different stories about it. What was up with
go
that,
share
my
the
friend?
posts up in the Jumbotron. It's being throttled right now. Everybody go share that. Thank you so much. Help me beat the algorithm.
And also, I just want to
I
say
don't
you
want to
got
have the red heifer discussion. Whatever the fuck you guys are taking it. Let's
Can
reel
I
it
ask
back
a
in
question about
to
the
control the
spaces?
narrative. Go ahead, Godfrey.
Yeah. So, like, when you go to these stealth spaces, I listen sometimes in the tunnel and these kind of spaces. They're talking of Israel as if it's America. They are making it look like as if you are anti-American if you question Israel, and it's very bizarre the way they talk.
That's
They
a
make
very
it seem
manipulative tactic. That is intentional.
yeah, it absolutely is. And they're you can see these like Christian Zionists that are up there and they're like tricking them into like thinking that anybody who supports Palestine is not an American, or anybody that questions the Gaza genocide
Anybody who's
is not
Muslim
an
is an
American.
American. The Muslim
Yes,
takeover, all of
yep,
this shit.
yep.
That's all
It's okay to
propaganda.
hate Muslims, like the whole thing. Yeah, and they do this and it's just sick. And like they do it with Tucker too. They make it look like he's committing treason for exposing Israel in America, and it's very bizarre. I do think it's failing, but it's something that it's like a very cult like mentality that they engender in these spaces and they cultivate in there, and you can hear it. It's freaking bizarre.
and it's always like when someone's doing that same thing, but they're calling someone else for it. You know, there's this very interesting.
I hear jealousy. That's what I hear.
See, like this, for instance, it's like
They got
Key
you on
is
their
Israel
narrative, dude. I mean,
America?
come
Is
on.
Israel America? It's a simple question. Do you think that America is a vassal state of Israel?
Well, there was some Jews that contributed to the creation of the United States of America. Did you know that?
Is Israel
Oh
America?
my! Hold on!
It's
Hold
a
on!
simple
Hold on! No
question.
kanging. There's no kanging on my stage. Okay, I don't allow anybody else to kang on my stage. You are not kanging on my stage, sir. No, we was. Get out of here with that shit. Get the fuck out of here. Hell no. Tariq Nasheed space is right down the hall, sir. If you want some, we was. And
okay. How about this question? Why do we have members of Congress who have foreign flags in front of their offices? What's the meaning of this?
Cut out.
I don't know. If you drive around Washington, D.C., you're going to see a shitload of foreign flags, though.
It's
No, I'm
treason.
talking about representative for the U.S. Congress in America, right? Why do they have a foreign, and not just any foreign, but a specific foreign flag in front of their offices?
Oh, you mean the Ukrainian one? I don't know. That shit drove me crazy, though, when I
This
was
is
there. I seen that
you're not even on
Ukrainian
the same
flag.
page, bro. You're not even hanging in there. So ultimately, anyways, these are important conversations. I think that our representatives need to be questioned about, like, and there is this lady who was posting videos on her going in offices asking him, why is this flag in front of here? He's like, well, because you know, Congressman yada 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 supports Israel. Okay, well, what about America? You know, why not put a different flag? You know, like ultimately it comes to, if you work as a representative in the U.S. government, but then you pledge allegiances to other governments, that doesn't make sense.
All these congressmen are they got to be. We got to get a new one in where they're at. Every single one of these people is corrupt. That they got to go. It's just that's all it is. And
No, and
every
go
politician.
step further. I think we need to rethink representation as a whole, because it's a very outdated way of.
we have to. There's something. These are like. It's like you're relying on the corrupted, broken system, thinking that you can fix things with the corrupted, broken system.
And
You
replacing
can't.
things just taints the new, because that's
Well,
the
they're
thing.
making a new system right now. It's a global government, but it's not working out real well. So it's probably going to be two hemispheres. China's going to get one, and the West is going to get the other.
I'm talking about.
Oh, anybody
rethinking
ever heard of the North American Union? Maybe that's why the borders were open.
Yeah,
But
all
it's
right,
okay.
that's a cool rabbit hole. But I'm thinking about rethinking representation, as in like maybe not centralizing into, like, basically that's an attack vector.
This
You put all this
post is
power in
being
one
hella
person.
suppressed. It's crazy, bro. Crazy. Go look
That's
at the
because nobody's
views.
commented on it. Everybody's
Go
scared to
look at the
comment on it.
views. It's got 500 views. It's crazy. I just edited
Bro,
it.
she knows the
So they can-
8200s. You know she does.
This is crazy. I think I don't even want to get into that. It's just
It's just
It'll take off.
You know
It'll take off.
You know what's crazy is the most damning information for the Tyler Robinson case hasn't even been released yet. And they're freaking out, demanding that people's hard drives be confiscated and that they get raided, which is very Biden era like, by the way. Those are some of your friends, Tardio, Key, some of your buddies demanding that people's hard drives be confiscated.
Well, yeah, she said something stupid though. So I mean, he's got a point, and he used to be a cop, so I think he knows what he's talking about there.
You cheer for that. You cheer for the confiscation of private citizens' property.
I'm all for flock cameras too. You know, I'm tired of the criminality.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Honestly, with the Tardio, I figured you wouldn't like him because he doesn't have that, like the theology brand or whatever. So it's literally got to be for money. You're not just a Zionist just cause or whatever, because you really want Israel to have a say. It's got to be the theology aspect of it, but he doesn't have that. He shares mine. I don't understand that. It's like he's with the Jewish people because it's for fucking money, bro. I figured y'all have a little more standards, or
Diligent, what do you think about the resignation of Nikita Beard or Bieber or whatever?
Oh, we talked about that earlier. I think that he.
Oh, must have missed it. Sorry.
I mean, I'm not a fan of his because he's a political activist and he's in a position of extreme power on this platform, which is supposed to be a free speech platform, and he's out there calling journalists crazy because he disagrees with their reporting. This shouldn't be a thing, and it's on top of the massive list of failures that have happened, right? Like instead of fixing spaces, they dumped a bunch of resources into creating quote video tweets that nobody fucking uses, nobody cares about. I told them immediately. They spent a year developing that feature. Instead of increasing the stability of features that everybody loves about X, they wasted a bunch of resources and time on features nobody wants. They've increased moderation. They've stopped. It's biased moderation, right? You have biased moderation when it comes to money. They are putting Nick, whatever his name is, the obvious asset, who is completely astroturfed in some kind of special creator program while monetizing a bunch of grifter accounts. And then depriving real journalists, creators of monetization on this platform. It doesn't make any sense. So I think there is just a litany of failures and incompetence and a very elitist mentality with that guy that has seriously caused some damage to the platform over the last year.
Do you think X is better now than it was during Twitter times?
I wasn't here during Twitter times. I was here one day on Twitter times, and I was suspended for my first meme. So for triggering the libs, it was a triggering the libs meme, and I was suspended my first day. Elon reactivated my account. He bought the platform and he waved a wand and he said, "Everybody's got, you're all free." And then so it cleared me, and I was able to keep this account. I've only ever changed the name once, and that was to add the American flag to the name. So, but yeah, I think I just hope he doesn't get replaced with something worse. He was not good for the platform. I think that's obvious. If he was good for the platform, he'd still be here. And he engaged in political. Twitter was bought because the previous owners and administration were political activists. You can't have a head of product out here, even if it's for a cause that you believe in. You can't have them out here taking sides on political activism between Iran and Israel, like changing the emoji to a revolutionary flag. That should never be a thing here. Right.
I think it was because he was giving out API access to everybody just willy nilly, even though they weren't paying for it. Elon Musk is trying to make money off this. This is a business. He was treating it like like his mom's 7-Eleven.
That has nothing
Yeah,
to do
the
with
enterprise API is what runs the show here.
That has nothing to do with what I'm discussing, though. We're talking about Nikita beer, right? You're trying to change the subject.
No, Nikita was. He would just give out API access.
Nikita
just
is in charge of
just to
API
friends and shit.
access. He is a
Yeah.
product.
He just
lead.
hit it out.
Yeah, he's taking like grog. Like it's got fucking minutes now, and then you got like the monitor. I mean, that shit's went down.
I mean, shit has gone down in the last 6 months quite a bit. It's this year, 2026 has been a horrible year. They say user minutes are up and all this shit. As somebody who is a power user on this platform, and I mean, as somebody who spends a substantial amount of time on the platform and utilizes almost all of its features religiously, I can tell you that the experience has degraded substantially. The chats are broken in a lot of ways. X chats, I think, is cool. I do appreciate the ability to delete and edit replies. I do appreciate the alleged end-to-end encryption. I never believe any of that shit, regardless of any company that says it. But it's very concerning when you have the head of product out here policing journalist speech publicly. That's very, very concerning, given the power that he wields within the platform algorithmically and monetization wise as well, because demonetization is another form of censorship. Big NBC news journalists and syndicated reporters, they have the backing of institutional money and the establishment behind them that support them, that allow them to act accordingly, but they are also subject to the whims of their respective editorial management, as well as the owners of those syndications, right? The establishment. So if we want an independent, citizen-led investigation into these matters that truly are like at the heart of what Americans care about, they need to be able to support themselves independently without having to depend on sponsors who are going to try to influence them, etc. Right? That's why it's so important. It's not about grifting. It's about having a free voice away from the establishment, right?
I mean,
that's what it's
exactly
about.
how our politicians get, subverted from whatever their constituents want into whatever the sponsoring parties want. Isn't that what APAC does?
It's an example. APAC's an example of that. It's using institutional money and power or influence, right, to control narratives. I mean, particularly with APAC, it's to control policy, not just narrative. Narrative influences policy too, right? They want it to be popular. So with one arm, they're influencing media, both old and new, legacy media, left-wing media, and the so-called new media, the right-wing media. If you haven't noticed, they're all on the same page about core issues, about Iran, about Charlie Kirk, about Epstein. They're all singing the same tune because they're all bowing to the same masters. People like myself or other like Maze or AJ or Coyote or whoever who don't bow to those masters, they're the ones that struggle the most because they don't have the institutional backing. The new media has the backing of the new administration, right? Access to the president and the Congress and Republican establishment. The legacy media has its old institutional power and its namesake, CNN, CBS. They're already established institutions, right? So they try to starve out independent voices and dissent, particularly. And it goes straight to the core of what we're talking about. We're talking about a group that operates within this independent sector as a lever to try to influence and silence voices of dissent in this independent landscape. That's what that cell is, that group chat is. That's a cell that is meant to control you or at least influence you for a particular narrative outcome, right? Anyways,
So with one hand, it will give you money if you pedal in the right direction, and in the wrong direction, if you pedal, you get basically demonetized.
Y'all ever looked into CUFI? Paul always brings that up. Like that's dude, 10 million people. That is huge. These lobbies, man.
let's go to Trans Alex. What's up?
Hey, buddy. Thank you for having me on here. It's an honor. You're one of the top dogs who have been speaking out against this. And being in Canada, we've been destroyed. We tried to emulate your populism down south, and now I've witnessed you guys do everything possible to pass all your tests to get Trump back in. He has a scorched earth second term ahead of him, and then he absolutely 180 betrays everyone. And now what I'm watching is the Charlie Kirk Matrix Rift event is your chance to not be erased. They're trying to erase you. They're trying to make you Dennis Leary and his group of degenerates that live in the sewer, and they don't want you to have any representation. And then the never Trumps that took over your party will laugh at you guys and say, well, you don't have any access to power. I'm sorry you don't understand politics. They're going to do all these truisms to make you guys disappear. So I'm just, every time I see Diligent crack something new in the case, I'm like, it's bittersweet because I'm like, oh crap, Lebanon's about to be destroyed tonight because Diligent is getting answers on the Charlie Kirk Matrix Rift event. Anytime you guys are opening up the truth, they're going to shut down Earth in response. You know what I mean? And we're watching it, and it's fucking fascinating. And yeah, it's a trip that everyone's still allowed to talk to each other. It shows how much utter control they have. You guys have watched it. Look at what they passed through. Look at what Dan Bongino turned into as soon as he walked through that door. The stuff that they've told you guys about Epstein and looking for answers on that and just watching what you guys have been up to has been a trip, man. So yeah, thank you for having me on. It's wonderful watching you do this and yeah, they're going to come at you hard and they're going to attack anyone that puts their head up above the trenches. And with Candace and you and the rest of them, you have a big group and you've got these snakes, Andrew Wilson by the balls, and you got the guy, what's his name? I don't know, Take Naps, who took on like these snakes. I try and get Viva Fry, like these idiots that leave Canada. They ruin Canada, these Zionists, Gadsad and Viva Fry. They ruin Canada and then walk into your country and go, hey, dear America, come and let's live the fake Matrix life of being a Rubio neocon. It's fucking gross. You guys don't deserve us. I'm sorry.
You can have him back. You can have that long-haired hippie looking dude. You can have him back. I'm not a fan.
Oh my God, he is gross, dude. He is absolutely gross. And he's one of these guys, like, there's different concentric circles of Zionists who like act like they'll go against the Zionist plans regularly, but they don't do it in any meaningful way. What they'll do is they'll say, like, Viva, when you ask him to like acknowledge that there's huge circumstantial evidence surrounding Israel, he'll say, look, I'm not taking away from the fact that yes, Israel's not perfect. They always stay at this rate of
Wow, that was a
look,
good
I understand they're
impression of
not
him.
perfect. It's like, no, it's way worse than that. Until you get up to speed on what's happening, stop weighing in.
I think that I can't tell if it's paid or if it is intent. That was a really good impression of him, by the way. He sounded just like him. I'm not gonna say it's because you're Canadian, but I you know what? I appreciated your videos too. By the way, thanks for that.
Dude, you're doing God's work. I back up people that are fighting the Matrix. So yeah, it's Viva's evil. Like I'm friends with these guys, and then they turn evil, and you're like, oh shit, you're not telling the truth. How about you go to hell now? Like that's why I'm against friend fagging and networking in these little chats. It's all so horrible. It's also gay. And we're like grown-up people that should be using logic and reason and not these repetitive things that Andrew Wilson and them are doing of like, give me a claim.
What do you think about him being on Joe Rogan
we
tonight?
understand.
What do you think about that?
I know it was gross. He's so awful to listen to. He's always at an anxious state of like, look, I'm growing very impatient with this. You've got to develop your own corrupt FBI and then give me these claims. And it's like, dude, we're talking about a cover up. Of course, you're not going to get a fucking claim from me right now. They're destroying the evidence, you fool. They're not looking for it. Like he just walks around like a naive Nelly going, oh, well, I got evidence. They showed me the text
he's
messages.
That naive though, right? Like it's not authentic.
Right. He cynically looks at a chalkboard and goes, look, if I put the goalpost here and make the goalpost so narrow that no ball can fit in, I think we win, guys. And everyone's like, yeah, just stay there. As long as they can't get the ball through, you win. Just keep yelling at them. No, tell me what happened. Develop your own investigative mechanisms funded by government that can get to the truth of this before you even doubt the official narrative. It's like, no, you've just called out what you should be focused on. Your FBI is utterly deranged, and they have totally shit the bed. And your state level investigative unit with that dude with the 1991 mushroom cut in charge of the investigation was not inspiring a lot of confidence. Letting Tyler's car go around with a bald guy and 3 passengers and not wondering about bullets on roofs. It's absolutely Dumb and Dumber investigation. And he's like, I trust it though. I'm sorry, that's just the FBI, and I got to trust them. Who are you, a guy on a computer? It's all very exhausting with them.
It is incredibly exhausting, and I think the fatigue is another strategy too, right? It's like they inundate you with so much bullshit that it's just meant to wear you down. I think it's demoralization. It seems like part of it. It's almost
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's almost like the communist strategy of demoralization. I feel like is happening to dissent on the right now. It just kind of sucks to watch because I went hard. I went so hard to try to get Trump elected, much to the dismay. I used to get in arguments with Mays and Destiny and Godfrey. They would get so frustrated with me, right? Because they're like, "Oh, you're just drinking Trump Kool-Aid. He's no better, blah, blah, blah." And I would just argue with them tooth and nail, right? Because I was drinking the Kool-Aid. And I thought he was really going to be our ticket to freedom. And it's just so much worse. I am so more concerned about my kid's future now than I was before Trump was elected, which is a horrifying thought because I'm sure that I would also be equally or more terrified if Harris had been elected. And it's like, where do you go? What do you do? You're damned. You're damned either way.
Well, that's why they buy both sides, Diligent, because whether it's Harris or Trump, they're both in the same pocket. That's it.
Right, but they do want you guys eliminated from the conversation. So I agree that you're not going to win with any voting or ballot box right now, but just going through the process and existing in real life, supporting anyone that's willing to stand up. I don't care if you believe, well, Tucker's got to be one of them too. It's like, no, they're willing to stand up right now and keep your truth alive. That's all it is. It's a battle of normals. You've been entered in this Olympics to whose normal will survive. And the only way you have no options at your availability right now. All you have is survival, and you can survive in a big group. You can sell yourselves as the authentic MAGA who were betrayed. And a lot of people get on board with that. But what they want is for you to black pill because they've developed a demand for a boogeyman, which will be there's these opposing forces that are destroying the narrative. We can't believe anything like Sandy Hook now. And now Tyler Robinson with all this misinformation online. We got to crack down on it. So fifth generation tells me you guys should stay in the battle and keep going for political solutions, even though you're never going to win at the ballot box. You know what I mean? Like just those little weird things that you have to do nowadays. It's like Walking Dead. Your life is going to be head stabbing zombies. You got to do 300 today. You're going to have to do 600 tomorrow.
Gen? What's the 5th gen? I missed it. I'm not in tune with this.
Yeah, a 5th gen is like all points of warfare, winning the hearts and minds. They used AI in Iraq and Afghanistan. General Stanley McChrystal ran that. He also ran it against Trump in the 2020.
China wrote a book on it. Unlimited warfare. Yeah. They're messed. Yeah.
I think every intelligence organization on Earth is familiar with it. Every intelligence organization on Earth has worked with this. So it's nothing like, I know that whataboutism about China and Muslims is a great way to say jazz hands for Israel right now. And I know you need to do that.
No, China's the only one to worry about. Muslims,
right? Whataboutism?
They're not a threat either.
They're the ones.
Neither is Israel.
Other than Fang banging Swalwell and a couple of other moments.
You got the Catholics or the Chinese. They're going to be the ones to take over.
Sure. How about your relationship of fusing your militaries together with Israel when they're at their Caligula phase and they've never been worse behaved on stage and they couldn't physically do anything worse to scream at you, get away from these people. You need to merge with them. Oh,
they
sure.
Moved past it.
So they advanced knowledge of the October 7th attack. It takes 60 eyes for every Palestinian eye. They completely butcher Gaza. They attack Lebanon. They sabotage and kill people that are trying to bring peace to Iran in a quagmire war they got you dragged into.
Give me a number.
And you don't think there's a problem.
That's
interesting. Oh, yeah, go look at those Muslims and those Chinese because there's not a massive problem on our front door. That whataboutism is very sad and pathetic. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that China is the preeminent threat, and people keep just sidetracking on what that really is. All of this pertains to China.
Somebody who doesn't
China
want
needs
us
to sit there and watch Israel pull America around by its nose across the Middle East and grind your weapons into mountains.
Yeah, look over here, not over there, Key. That's what I hear every time you say that. Go ahead, Godfrey.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that one of the most disturbing things to me to see as a three-time Trump voter was this cult of people like trying to be a support group to help you understand Trump's treason. To be like, oh,
Uh,
he's
I'm
not that
Pakistani,
treasonous.
Godfrey. I'm in
He's
Pakistan right
not
now.
Stop
that
interrupting, Key.
treasonous.
Stop interrupting.
He's just covering up Epstein and calling it a hoax. He's just letting the clock run out on COVID. He's just lying about the auto pen. He's just letting the clock run out on January 6th and blaming the pipe bomber on a 50-year-old black man who's into My Little Pony. He's just doing that. He's not that bad. Like it's this sick cult-like mentality of people trying to tell you you're not getting effed every day. And that has
party
been the
demanded
sickest
that you
thing.
not speak the truth.
That you just sit there and take it, and you worse that you have to conceptualize his treason as patriotism.
You're a valuable
That
resource.
is the
They would never
most
do that to you.
insane shit to bear witness to. And you guys attacking Diligent for trying to expose Epstein as if he's a criminal. Shit like that. Do you not understand how sick and bizarre that is, Key?
Yeah, you obviously don't know me for very long. I was on Diligent's side for the entire Epstein thing for a long time.
Hey, Key, look,
People
China.
just have a hard time understanding your naivete of being a subscriber of Diligent, being so close to the source, yet being so unaffected by
I'm
evidence
a
that should have changed your
spy.
entire
Some
mindset.
chick pointed that out earlier. Trans, look, get with the program, okay? I pay a few dollars a month. I get to spy on Diligent, and I get right in on the inside. I know all the inside.
Any of my detractors down there, if you want to spy on me privately and listen to those subscriber spaces, $5 a month. There's a pink button on my profile. If you're over on YouTube, you can join a membership. I do like a hybrid of the subscriber spaces and the membership when I get time. I am going to be on the road doing boots on the ground investigation again here real soon, the next week or so. So I am going to wrap it up soon. Make sure you're following my amazing co-hosts, Maze and AJ. They're Spaces hosts. Oh, shit. Did I cut out? You guys there?
I think you cut out, Diligent.
Test? Okay. Yeah, make sure you're following Maze and AJ. As soon as I said Maze, they got me. What happened, Maze? I don't know what happened.
They get
listen,
lost in the maze.
I realize I am triggering you guys, right? I don't have anything against Jews. I promise. I don't even have anything against Israelis. Just stop fucking with me, please. Jeez, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just trying to solve the largest assassination in the United States history, other than JFK. Okay, just leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. Let me do what I do, right? And that'll be that. Like, I don't know why I can't just investigate an American's murder. I don't know why you're
because you doing what you do doesn't leave them alone. That's the problem.
Until you talk about what happened in Korea. So the South Korea, did you hear about that stuff? So Charlie Kirk went over there. They had this video, somebody there, they got shot in the neck. It was on the video and stuff like that. I think the real conspiracy is probably connected to China.
Oh, China.
Yeah, so if you guys
you are joking, yeah.
AB, now
That's
you're gonna
real.
request.
Everything I said was
now
real.
you're gonna request, bro. I'm tired. Okay, we're gonna give it 15 more minutes. How about that? We'll do it 15 more minutes. And then we'll go from there. Go ahead, Coyote, and then we'll go to AB.
I'd like to ask on that because I heard Key he had mentioned he did a little bit of Catholic bashing in the space just then. What is going on? Like, what is up with the Zionist and the Catholic thing? Like, was there like an old hatred towards the Christians, or what is it towards the Catholics that the Zionists absolutely hate the Catholics and always do? Because I got my buddy Paul. And I know he would ask, he'd be like, "Hey, dude, why didn't you stand up for me?" So I got to ask you that. Is it like a history thing or what?
Yeah, well, there's confusion about the history. So the Catholic Church
It's
is the
definitely
Roman.
like a history thing. It's definitely like a history thing for sure.
But hold on, AB. Hold on. It's
Catholic priests didn't go to Fort Huachuca.
Yeah, so
to learn their
Catholic.
We're all good. We're all good right now since Vatican II. We're good. We're good now.
Right. There would have been a Vatican III at Fort Huachuca if they'd started their process with Catholic priests, and they would be the ones connecting young Republicans to Israel and Zionism.
Coyote
But
had a
as it
question.
worked out,
they
the
are.
Baptists, the Baptists worked
You're
better.
not
They lived
answering.
closer to Huachuca, so they went with them.
We got them
so
too, friends. We got the Catholic priests too, and the
well,
Orthodox. Ortho bros are also,
Can I
we
answer,
got them
Coyote?
too.
AB, holy, see,
Yeah,
Just keep it in
Diligent.
the
That's where you messed up. You brought
Key.
two of us
Oh
in
yeah,
here now.
Pozo's Catholic. I forgot. They got the Catholics too.
Let Key
Go ahead,
answer
Keith.
the
Go ahead, Keith.
question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of confusion about the Catholic stuff that's going on. So if you go all the way back to the execution of Jesus Christ, right? And the Jews get mad about this, but this is what the Catholics believe on one side, right? So the Roman Catholic Church is actually problematic. Catholic means universal. Universal church means everybody's going to have to eventually be part of this one world religion that they're creating. But that obviously supposedly ended a little bit later on, and they say that they didn't keep to it, but then now supposedly secret Jesuit orders and some, like, I don't know what they are. Vatican assassins were running around till about like the 1200s and stuff like that. So there's like a lot of conspiracies in the Catholic Church. So you have like a split in the Catholic Church right now, which I think we're all going to see, which is one segment of the Catholic Church is going to split entirely from the other segment of the Catholic Church, and they're going to have two separate doctrines, but pretty much, still be Catholics somehow. And that's what you see with Candace. Candace is not a traditional Catholic as we know it. She's going to be in this other avenue of Catholicism that's coming. Some people say it's like
is it Sergio
Orthodox or
Gore?
something.
Like Sergio Gore, he's from the Soviet Union. He's the Knights of Malta, and he's the ambassador of India for the United States somehow. I don't know, but how's that?
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was all the Freemasons, and then I found out about this stuff, and now I'm confused again.
AB, did you have a particular reason that you requested at the end of the
Yeah,
space?
I was just I've been taking mostly a vacation from spaces recently. Like I've gone on, but kind of like after a warring for 3 straight years, I decided to take a little bit of break. But I did want to say two things.
mean, my
I do
audience
find
needs a rotation with Mitch, right? So like, I don't, I'm not
yeah,
appreciative of it.
We're doing shift work, local union 119 of the Zog.
The wages go up in the diaspora.
What was that?
The wages going up in the diaspora? Or what?
Oh yeah, buddy. Listen, we're always we're raising it to market rates, and the fucking market is sizzling. No, but on a serious note, I did want to comment on 2 things that I found hilarious. I do find it funny that you're freaking out about like the existence of a group chat as if this is like a new concept to you. And I did want to say, so sarcastically, show me on the doll where the group chat defending Erica Kirk hurt you. But I guess it was obviously
The
you decided to.
existence of a group chat doxing people and their address and stuff. That's
I
funny.
haven't seen any evidence towards that. Diligent sent me a clip he DM'd me a clip where they played audio of the account 0 Hour naming a producer for the Candace Owens show. But I think that's pretty okay, considering how many people Candace has named who were unknown prior to her naming them. I think turnabout is fair play. Naming a producer whose public profile on LinkedIn lists their job. So I think that's okay.
Which
So I
Zionist
did find
she
it okay.
dox?
Like you were
Which
offended.
Zionist?
Can I just finish my sentence? I did find it funny that you were offended to a group chat dedicated to defending the name of a widow. But all right, you do you, bro. That's all good.
They attempted to dox me as well, right? It wasn't just Candace Owens, right?
I haven't seen any evidence of that. I condemn doxing, but I don't consider naming a producer for Candace Owens doxing.
There is a
fair warning.
Is sharing somebody's address, is that doxing?
People should not share other people's addresses. I agree with that. So I would condemn that for sure. But I haven't seen any evidence of that. The other thing is, I think a lot of people who are those of us, and as Diligent as I'm American and Canadian. But when I heard my fellow Canadian trans there, and I've been a big admirer of in the past of Maxime Bernier, who's the leader of the party that trans, I guess, has done some activism for. I'm assuming, and so I guess a lot of us on the political right, or or whatever, dissidents of any kind, have had many times over the last X amount of years, no pun intended, that we've been disillusioned about one thing or the other. But I have to say in full sincerity that the more I hear from alternative media and independent media, the more I want to become a fan of the establishment again. Because I used to trash the MSM, and I still do, the mainstream, so-called mainstream media, the legacy media, and they deserved it. Don't get me wrong. COVID lies, a million other lies, right? But then everything's, I guess, is relative, right? And when you compare it to the quality, and I use that term in scare quotes, quality of the work being done by so-called independent podcasters and Twitter space hosts, and I'm not singling you out. I'm just saying, a second look at legacy institutions looks good to me, because In comparison, if I have to compare Fed slop, the official FBI investigation, to Candace slop, I will pick Fed slop every single fucking day of the week. So yeah, like it is what it is, but you guys can't come up with anything better, right? They at least have some institutional checks and balances. I'm not even talking about the Feds now. Like CBS News, NBC, don't get me wrong. They lie and they spin and they're biased. I'm not saying they're not. That hasn't changed. The quality of their work hasn't changed. It's just, like I said, it's relative. It's when you look about the standards that Candace or fucking Tucker or the Hodge twins or any of these retards.
How many of
or
those,
Viva Fry or any of these other people for that matter.
We know where the cocaine's going.
It's just like there's just
no
editorial, no fact checking, just blatant,
how
just
many
untruth.
Of those established
You're not
media,
even trying to tell the truth. And
how many of those
and because there's no
establishment
corporate
media went
sponsors,
and
there's nothing to
interviewed-
hold you accountable. Yeah, go ahead.
How many of those establishment media went and interviewed the Panguitch witnesses?
I mean, Fox News ran an article about it last year.
When did
10 months ago, whenever the fuck it was, Fox News Digital. Me and you were talking about it in DM, so you know that they did.
How many interviewed?
So the answer is Fox News, like literally the largest legacy conservative, the largest legacy conservative institution did it 10 months before you did.
They never spoke to the witnesses. They never spoke to those witnesses.
I think I'm going to go read the article. They definitely spoke to the owner, and they definitely spoke to the FBI. So they went in.
Was the owner a witness?
They had boots on the ground, as they should. They're a bigger institution than you, obviously.
So the answer.
But I answered your question.
The
You said
reason
how
why
many?
you're spurging right now.
And I said the largest name.
Over
The largest name.
Please stop.
I'm not spurging. I'm answering your question.
You are spurging.
The largest name.
The answer is zero.
In conservative media, in legacy conservative media, went and talked to them.
Zero legacy media.
They went there to Penguich way before you even heard of Penguich.
They read for the QAnon too, though.
I just let you go on this like long 5-minute tirade.
Can you guys understand
Mute
what's
down,
going on?
right? Come on. I let you go on a very long, uninterrupted rant.
What's up, girl?
Right? And the answer is that zero legacy media went and spoke to that witness. They spoke to the owner, who was not a witness. They took the owner's
No, I think
word
the article
at
said
face
they spoke to
value
one of the.
instead of no, they did not. They did not. They did not. The witness said it's on video. I have him saying.
By the way, alleged witness. Why don't you call him an alleged witness? The person who claims to be a witness, but there's no evidence that he's actually a witness, right? He's an alleged witness.
He
Just
has
like Tyler Robinson's an alleged
more
murderer.
substantial accounting of encountering Tyler Robinson than anybody presented by the government.
Right. It's more credible than like the zoomed in video, right? Way more credible than that. Way more credible than his fucking lover. Way more credible than his parents turning him in. Way more credible. Super credible. The guy held up a receipt. That's credible.
So I just want for the record, AB,
any video?
For the record, stop talking over me, AB. You're getting way too excited. Hold on. Are you guys there? Okay. For the record, right now, you are touting the furry trans boyfriend's credibility as way higher than the
yes, like there's not even a comparison. One has zero credibility, and one has the guy literally had sex with him on a regular basis. So yeah, I'm touting that person.
And he also would have said anything to get immunity.
Yeah, why exactly does the person who has no incentive to lie, right? The waiter, who is a Mormon and a young kid, he has an incentive to lie, but the trans furry boyfriend who never spoke about LGBT, Charlie Kirk, or trans things with his alleged boyfriend, slept in a different room, couldn't give us any evidence that they were ever a couple. He has more credibility for some reason. Why?
Hey,
right,
because
the trans. I'll answer your question, because the Transbury gay boyfriend's account is backed up by objective evidence, like fucking the stuff that they pulled directly from
messages
from the mobile phone companies and from fucking Discord servers and from fucking multiple videos and from fucking DNA evidence. While you have a guy, I'm not even saying he's lying. I don't know the guy. But it's sort of a truism in crime that eyewitness accounts are notoriously unreliable. And by the way, most murders and most crimes are solved with so-called circumstantial evidence, right? Direct evidence is stuff like eyewitness accounts, and they're wrong all the time. Lots of black people in St. Louis or in Ferguson, Missouri said, I saw Michael Brown raise his arms and say, hands up, don't shoot. But there's no evidence that ever happened, ever. So I'm not saying your guy's lying. He might have. He saw a thing. It was in the news. It happens all the time.
There's a receipt.
Yeah, there's a receipt that somebody bought something there, but there's not a receipt
Yeah,
that
but we should want the citizen journal like for everybody, every little
I
group on
would
this.
love it,
We should want
but we
them, and
know
it's
for a
credible.
fact that the
Hey, but
owner told us
AB,
the
you got
FBI did follow up.
AB. Let some other people talk.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Actually,
AB, you forgot to mention that spouses are usually the number one suspect in a murder investigation.
I'm not. Listen,
He wasn't
so
married,
Candace
though.
did something today that I don't agree with.
Oh, please spell it out.
Well, she said that most of us think that Israel was the one that took out Charlie Kirk, and I disagree with that. So that I was just giving that as a boon to AB.
Well, I think you misquoted her slightly. I think you misquoted. She said most people think that Israel.
Racist.
Israel. She can't for some reason. Some African Americans, they can't say the ask act
AB,
thing.
you're so
so
funny.
you're gonna be racist
Nah,
right now. Wow.
Too many
Thank you,
balls.
Lene.
I tried to give you a olive branch, and you just shit all over it.
I was
with
just
some
I was just making fun of Candace. Why can't she say the word
very
Israel?
articulate, dude, and
But not
she's
about the
very
word
intelligent.
Israel.
Just answer the question, AB. Come on.
It's sensitive, Diligent. They have a large influx of the Ethiopian Jews taking place right now in Israel, so they're kind of upset.
Charlie Kirk didn't swoop her up because she was so incompetent. You realize that, right?
No, she's got charisma, but she's not exactly.
It's semantics.
Stop talking over me, bro.
He did the same thing.
Stop talking over me. Okay, last warning. She can eviscerate most people intellectually in conversation and debate. That is why he swooped her up, and because she's charismatic, right? Which is another sign of intelligence. Anybody who dismisses her outright or underestimates her, there's a reason why she keeps one-upping them. It is because of the hubris, right? And it's not just her. She is representative of a swath of Americans that are also being dismissed outright and being treated like they are less than. And the hubris and elitism is exactly why y'all are losing the narrative. It's exactly why these group chats, the paid operations, the massive media campaigns are necessary, but still failing, right? Is because of the hubris and the elitist mentality. AB, I appreciate you.
Can I just say one last thing, and then I'm gonna drop off. But I'll just let me disagree on that. I think the problem with Candace is that she's not being dismissed enough summarily, and there should be more elitism and gatekeeping towards her and all fucking morons, right? There's a difference between saying people have a First Amendment, which they do, and they should, to say the stupidest, most hateful, whatever. They should be allowed to stand on Fifth Avenue and say, I hate insert group or person X. Absolutely, without getting arrested, without getting beaten to pulp or, sued into oblivion, right? I agree with that. It doesn't mean that we have to accept them into sort of quote unquote polite society. So I think there should be way more dismissal. If there was, then her damage would have been more contained, and way more elitism and way more gatekeeping, not towards anybody, but towards people like her. Stupid
So
and
you
evil people.
You want to be blind. Essentially, you just don't
No,
want
no,
to
no.
know the truth.
I've heard what
you
she
want
had
to
to
be
say,
blind.
and now that I've heard what she had to say, now I want to kick her out and lock the
from
gate.
What you
I want
knew,
to gate.
from what you knew a year ago, to what you knew now, everything Candace was worried about has come true in a much bigger way. The story has fallen apart much more than it did in the past.
Go down
So
the
for you
list.
to be
Go down the
progressing,
list.
if
What
you
came
think that
true?
Quit
just
interrupting
gesticulating loud enough that we just got to really dismiss her this time, as your side's narrative
You
falls
didn't
more and
say
more apart,
anything.
as Diligent
Name it.
himself
What did she
destroyed
get
your
right?
narrative. The beauty of those texts early was it allowed the Mockingbirds to solidify a narrative. I don't know why you guys keep talking. I don't know if it's a learning disability, if it's some sort of video that can fix this behavior in you, but just your inability to stop talking right there was really bothering me. So you've had all of this time to see what's been happening with the narrative. It's been falling apart. Diligent was a key player in making that fall apart by saying, how does this timeline make sense? You enjoyed the benefits of having these way too convenient texts pop out right at the outset of things. You're so trusting in Lance, as if Lance wouldn't sing in any direction that would result in his freedom. He helped him engrave fucking bullets, for the love of God. If you don't know that you're an accessory, well, what did you think he was engraving in them? Oh, I thought he was just doing like little flowers and doing an art project on the windowsill. No, you're implicated in that. So you shouldn't be trusting that testimony. Everything you've been shown is nothing, and it's been collapsing. There's been nothing but a magic neck holding it up from the beginning, and it's only gotten worse. Without Candace, you wouldn't have found out those texts that said I'm abandoning the Israel Project. Without Harrison Smith, a month before Charlie died, saying I'm worried if I keep speaking out against Israel, Israel will fucking kill me. Those are huge things that you continually overlook. So while you're going through your Helen Keller phase and you're just pointing down at everyone else like, I can't believe it. I want to watch Fox News more often because they wear nicer suits than you guys. I'm sorry that the narrative's letting you down. And now it's dudes in their garage who are the only ones telling the truth. But it seems like you're blinded by elitism. You want to be on the Hunger Games balcony and you don't care
No,
about the
no. You
truth.
know
So
what?
it's just on
Actually,
you,
like I
bro.
said,
It's just you.
it's the
Do
exact
you, though.
opposite,
I'm
bro.
not trying to say you shouldn't do you. I'm just saying everyone else should laugh at what you're doing.
Sorry I dropped you there, but you didn't listen. I told you if you interrupted one more time, you were getting dropped. Appreciate that rant. I think it's a good way to stop things off. No offense, AB, RNO. I'm going to call it a night. Been going a long time. Make sure if you want to support what I'm doing, I'm being suppressed. Turn all notifications on for me on YouTube and on X. Share my content when you see it. If I host a space, if I make an investigative journalism post, or if I launch a live stream over there, work collectively, help us, give us all a voice. That's why I do spaces still, because I like this format. YouTube, you guys will get used to it. Love you guys. Make sure you're following my co-hosts, all of the speakers on stage, even in the ones that you disagree with. It's important that we don't do echo chambers and we hear dissent. Love you guys. Have a good night. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.